I couldn't believe it. I just drank. A sip of water given to me by the neighbor girl, and ended up being drugged by her. Drugged and tied to the bed, and she madly did indescribable things, until 3 days and 3 nights later. I finally couldn't take it anymore. My vision went dark, but I still couldn't believe it. The sweet and lovely girl in my memory could be so insane. This way, you'll belong to me forever. We must be together in the next life, too. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reincarnated, back to when I was 8 years old, and was startled by the sounds of scolding and crying from the neighbor's house next door. The little girl had been abused since she was young. Violence and oppression consumed her childhood. An alcoholic father, a mother who ran away, and she was left behind, ever since I can remember. The little sister across the way was always crying. She always had bruises on her body, dressed in ragged and dirty clothes. So at school, she was often ostracized and isolated. The other kids all mocked her, calling her an unwanted stray. Although I didn't bully her back then, I always followed the crowd at school and never actively approached her. Thinking about this, I couldn't help but sigh. This could also be considered a form of silent bullying, couldn't it? But if that's the case, how could Lin Kai-wei still like me? She even took me away. Chen Jun, go out and buy a bottle of soy sauce for Mom. Just then, my mom called out from the kitchen. I answered and went out immediately. On the way back, I bought myself a cotton candy. Just as I was about to take a bite, I saw a beautiful little girl sitting on the stairs in front of her house, but her face was covered in bruises and the corner of her mouth was split. Even wearing long sleeves in the summer, you could see her exposed skin was covered in scars. And this person was the young Lin Kai-wei. When I saw her, my body instinctively froze. A layer of cold, clammy sweat broke out on my back, as if sensing my gaze. Lin Kai-wei suddenly looked over with a blank expression. I met those eyes that carried such coldness and hatred. The fear of being pinned down by her in my past life could no longer be suppressed. My mind went blank and I held out my hand. Do you want some? A giant pink cloud of cotton candy was held out in front of the little girl. She seemed stunned. The coldness and hatred froze in those beautiful eyes, finally turning into confusion and a bit of bewilderment. Then she gave a strangely sweet smile and held out her scarred hand, slightly trembling as she took the cotton candy from my hand. Thank you, brother. Seeing her take the cotton candy and eagerly take a bite, I immediately sighed in relief. I hurriedly walked past her and quickly went upstairs, but I soon heard very light footsteps behind me, following me. When I turned around, I met those big, bright eyes. Seeing me stop, Lin Kai-wei held out the cotton candy in her hand. Do you want some more? I've only eaten a little. You can eat from this side. It's not dirty. I was just about to open my mouth to refuse. When I saw my mom coming down, Mom immediately saw the scars on Lin Kai-wei's body. A look of pity flashed across her face and she smacked me on the head. Are you looking for trouble, trying to take your little sister's cotton candy? When Lin Kai-wei saw an adult, she instinctively wanted to back away. I quickly said, be careful, the stairs are behind you, but it was too late. Lin Kai-wei's whole body tumbled down the stairs. Mom screamed and rushed over. Kai-wei, are you okay? Luckily, the stairs weren't high, but for such a small child to fall, it must have hurt a lot. But Lin Kai-wei didn't make a sound. She just quietly looked at the dirty cotton candy on the ground, with tears welling up in her eyes, which broke my mom's heart. Mom quickly picked up the small girl. Auntie will take you to see a doctor, okay? Lin Kai-wei trembled, seemingly very scared. No, I'm not going. I don't have any money. They'll find my dad and Dad will beat me. Mom was silent for a moment. Then she said gently, it's okay. Auntie's family has a doctor. To be honest, I lived to be 26 in my past life, and I'd never seen my mom be so gentle. Then, Mom carried the silent Lin Kai-wei upstairs, without forgetting to call out to me. What are you standing there for? Bring the things home. I was speechless. I obediently carried the bags and followed them. When I looked up, I saw Lin Kai-wei, leaning on Mom's shoulder, looking at me. I made a funny face at her, silently thinking, stop looking, you're scaring me. After we got home, I immediately pointed at Lin Kai-wei and explained, I bought the cotton candy for her. I didn't even get a bite. Lin Kai-wei, who was sitting beside me, stood up when she heard that, and tremblingly whispered an apology. Sorry, I won't dare to eat it next time. After hearing this, Mom quickly comforted her in a gentle voice. Don't be scared, Kai-wei. Auntie isn't scolding you. Your brother gave it to you, so you should eat it. It's okay. Although I was instinctively a bit scared of Lin Kai-wei, the pitiful little girl in front of me right now really didn't seem like a pervert. I said I'd stay away from her. Why did I bring this little pervert home? Looking at my mom applying medicine to Lin Kai-wei with a pained expression, I suddenly remembered, in my past life, my mom had actually asked me tentatively, what if I bring the little sister from over there to play with you, okay? But at that time, I hated the idea. I don't want to play with her. Everyone at school dislikes her. If I play with her, the other kids at school won't play with me anymore. Later, Dad also tried to persuade me, saying we would just play at home. Let her eat and rest at our house, but I still didn't agree. When Mom brought her to the door, I threw a tantrum on the floor, blocking the entrance, crying and screaming. In the end, Mom couldn't bring Lin Kai-wei into the house, thinking about my younger self in my past life, and then looking at the scar-covered person, trembling as medicine was applied. Without making a sound, Lin Kai-wei, I really deserved to die back then. I used to think there was no grudge between us, but now that I think about it, the indifferent bystander who shattered her hopes seemed to be me. No wonder when I was tied up in my past life, I heard her say by the bed, full of doubt, "Why can't I be your little sister? I admire you so much. Can I be your wife? That would also make us family." I let out a sigh and turned to get all the snacks I had hidden. Then I tore open the packaging and gave it to Lin Kai-wei. "Have some. My mom will cook dinner soon. She's a great cook." But Lin Kai-wei didn't dare to take it, reflexively glancing at my mom. That cautious expression made anyone who saw it feel sad. Mom took the snacks from my hand and gently placed them in Lin Kai-wei's hand. "There you go. Go on and eat. It's okay." Then she shot me a glare. "Chenjun, come with me." I sulkily followed my mom, feeling like I was about to get spanked again. But Mom just pulled me into the room and asked in a low voice, "Chenjun, do you like your little sister?" I shook my head immediately without thinking. Don't like her. How could I dare to like her? Mom didn't expect me to be so firm. She was stunned for a moment. Then, does Chenjun hate his little sister? The little sister is very pitiful. Look, her body is covered in wounds. Mom carefully observed my expression, afraid that I would show any sign of disgust. And at this point, I roughly knew what Mom wanted to say. In my past life, I had refused without hesitation, crying and making a fuss. If I don't refuse this life, maybe later Lin Kai-wei will not become a pervert. If she isn't a pervert, then I won't have to die. Thinking that, I felt that it might be possible. "Mom, do you want to adopt my little sister? But she has a dad." Mom didn't expect me to understand so much, so she patiently explained. "Although your little sister has a dad, he usually doesn't come home. If she comes over, she can play with you, okay?" I sighed and silently nodded. Seeing her son being so understanding, Mom rewarded me with 10 yuan, then prepared to take Lin Kai-wei home to get her clothes. But Lin Kai-wei probably thought she was about to be sent away. Her face turned a little pale, and she looked towards me standing at the bedroom door, with a very complicated look in her eyes. Mom noticed this, and pulled me over. "Don't be scared, Kai-wei. Your brother and I will go with you to get your clothes. Your dad just went out. He probably won't be back so soon. Can you come to Auntie's house for dinner and to sleep over today?" I was a little reluctant. I was truly very scared of Lin Kai-wei. When Lin Kai-wei heard what Mom said, her eyes lit up again. She reached out her small hand and tugged on my shirt, giving me a fawning smile. "Brother, my hands aren't dirty." I looked at her and sighed. "Let's go." We went to the house across the way. As soon as we opened the door, we smelled something strange. The sofa in the living room was askew. The table was broken and the TV was covered in cracks. There were even bloodstains on the floor. You could tell someone had trashed the place. This made me think of the wounds on Lin Kai-wei's face. At that moment, the small hand holding mine suddenly tightened a little. I thought she was scared and turned to comfort her a bit, but I saw her cold expression. Her gaze fell on the bloodstains, seeming to carry a hint of mockery. This expression didn't fit her tender age at all. It sent a chill down my spine. Has she already become a pervert? If so, haven't I just let a wolf into my house? She wouldn't harm my parents, would she? While my mind was racing, I saw that Lin Kai-wei was already on the balcony with Mom, packing things up, but she didn't have any clothes. She didn't even have her own room whenever her dad was home. She would always be on the balcony, at 5, after her mother left. No one bought her clothes anymore. Mom's heart ached seeing this. "Auntie will buy new clothes for you. You'll stay at Auntie's for now, until your dad comes back." At this point, Mom paused for a bit, but Lin Kai-wei spoke up very sensibly. "I'll go back then. I won't let him find out." The obedient and sensible little girl made people like her. But in my mind, I kept replaying the look on her face when she saw the blood. My dad is a doctor. When he got home from work, he immediately treated Lin Kai-wei's wounds. The child was almost beaten to a pulp. Luckily, when he felt her bones, there were no major issues. Lin Kai-wei even comforted Mom at that moment. "Auntie, I know how to curl up. I won't get hit in the head or bones." Hearing these words from an 8-year-old, even though I was scared of her, I couldn't help but feel a pang in my heart, not to mention my parents. That night, my chicken drumsticks were all placed in Lin Kai-wei's bowl, but Lin Kai-wei sensibly put the drumsticks back into my bowl. "You eat, brother." I sighed in frustration. My feelings were very complicated, and at the same time I was very scared. But all these feelings culminated in the evening. Because Mom told me to sleep with Lin Kai-wei, my eyes widened and I was very firm. "Mom, boys and girls shouldn't share a bed after 7. We're already 8. It's not appropriate. Just for one night, there are no more rooms. Tomorrow, your dad and I will buy a bunk bed. Just give in to your little sister for a bit." Mom knew this decision was a bit much, but she couldn't let the child sleep with her and her husband. "Then he'll sleep with Dad. You and her can sleep together." After saying that, I felt a little scared again. What if Lin Kai-wei harms Mom, even though she looks so weak now? No, I still can't risk it. Mom thought about it and it made sense. She was about to agree when she heard me say no. "How about you sleep with me? Lin Kai-wei, come here." Lin Kai-wei obediently came over when she heard that. "Brother, I sleep very still." I was a little annoyed. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Mom, you should go to sleep too. Mom looked at my annoyed expression, a little worried. But then she saw how obedient Lin Kai-wei was, and felt that it would probably be fine. She told us to get along, and then left, still worried. In the end, Lin Kai-wei and I each lay on one side of the bed, with a large gap between us. But I didn't dare to sleep at all, afraid that if I fell asleep, I wouldn't see tomorrow's sun. When Lin Kai-wei beside me carefully turned over, I immediately rolled hard to the side, rolling straight onto the floor. Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment, and asked with some concern, "Brother, are you okay?" I looked at her warily. "What did you just do?" My back was sore and itchy. I wanted to turn over. I won't move anymore. Then she bit her lip, looked cautiously at the door, and said in a low voice, "I can sleep on the floor. I used to sleep on the floor at home. On the balcony. Brother, let me sleep on the floor." Hearing that, I sighed and said, a bit annoyed, "I'm very fair. Let's play a game. Whoever loses sleeps on the floor." I opened the drawer and took out Chinese chess, military chess, Ludo. Then let Lin Kai-wei choose from these games. Many people at school play these during recess, but Lin Kai-wei looked at these things and was silent for a moment before speaking. "I don't know how to play any of them." "How can you not know?" I was about to say, when I suddenly remembered that at school she always sat in a corner. Whenever she got close, the other students would maliciously pinch their noses and shout, "The little beggar is gone!" Thinking of this made my heart ache even more. I looked at the lowered eyelashes of the person sitting obediently in front of me. I put all these things away. Lin Kai-wei took anti-inflammatory medicine tonight. She must be sleepy, right? I pointed to the bed. "You sleep. You'll sleep on the floor. Otherwise, Mom will hit me again tomorrow." But Lin Kai-wei shook her head. "No, if Auntie sees, she'll think I'm not a good girl." I wanted to say she wouldn't. Mom isn't that kind of person, but thinking about how since she arrived at my house, she had always been so careful and reserved. In the end, I sighed again and climbed into bed. "Then let's just sleep together." Lin Kai-wei's two eyes widened, her tone very sad. "If you don't want to be with me." But before she could finish her sentence, I cut her off. "Just hurry up, I'm sleepy." Finally, the little girl carefully got into bed and curled up in a small corner. I resolutely didn't look and just turned over, with my back to her. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep, but I forgot about my body's physiological response. After all, I was only 8 years old now. In less than 10 minutes, I was already spread-eagled, sound asleep. In contrast, the person who had taken anti-inflammatory medicine, Lin Kai-wei, who was usually very quiet, still had her eyes wide open. She didn't dare to move until she heard my steady breathing. She carefully moved her body and slowly leaned in, looking at me sleeping soundly. Lin Kai-wei's face at this moment was completely expressionless. She felt that Chen Jun was very strange today. Normally, I would turn away upon seeing her and not get close at all, but today I gave her cotton candy and even brought her home. She turned her head to look at this room. She liked this place very much. Normally, when she was beaten, she could squat in front of her door and hear all the hustle and bustle in his house, the scolding of Chen Jun talking back, and the sound of the TV. But the way Auntie scolded him was not like the beatings and curses at her house. Lin Kai-wei always saw the chubby boy across the way, even at his age, still being carried home on his father's back. His mom would buy him watermelon in the summer and roasted sweet potatoes in the winter. She would scold him with her words, but she would buy him everything. At school, he also had many friends. Everyone really liked him. Actually, she liked him too. She remembered when they were little, he shared candy with her and even held her hand to play in the snow. But later, when her mother left, everything changed. He and a cockroach in the gutter like her lived completely different lives. He lived so happily. So happy that just by looking at him, for a little while, she would feel warm. She couldn't help but think, if only she were also a member of their family, how wonderful that would be. Thinking of this, Lin Kai-wei looked at me and softly called out, "Brother." She reached out a scarred finger, wanting to touch my fair face, but it was as if she felt she was too dirty. In the end, she only dared, through a layer of clothing, to gently poke my stomach. That soft feeling finally made her break into a childish smile. Then, as she was about to lie back down, I suddenly turned over, my limbs pressing right on top of Lin Kai-wei. At this age, I was a chubby kid. The pressure from my limbs was not light. Lin Kai-wei found it a little hard to breathe, and the wounds on her back throbbed with pain from the pressure. But she didn't dare to move, afraid that the slightest movement would wake me. Just as her face was about to turn red from holding her breath, I suddenly wrapped my arms tightly around her, like I was hugging a body pillow. Lin Kai-wei was stunned. The last time she was held like this to sleep was when her mother was still around. She slowly moved her small head closer to my chest and whispered in her heart, "Good night, brother." The next day, I was woken up by a slap on the butt from my mom. "Chen Jun, are you trying to die? You're about to crush your little sister." Then I let out a scream and opened my eyes to see Mom holding Lin Kai-wei in her arms like a treasure. I was still dazed. I didn't even have time to react. What had happened? Then I heard Lin Kai-wei explain seriously, "It's nothing. Auntie, he was probably afraid I was cold." I let out a sound of confusion, but it's summer vacation now. The temperature is over 40 degrees every day. I suddenly remembered. I seem to have hugged a very comfortable body pillow last night. My expression twisted. This body pillow couldn't be Lin Kai-wei, could it? Dad reminded me from the doorway. Check if Kai-wei's wounds are better. This time I was sure the body pillow was Lin Kai-wei. Mom lifted the back of Lin Kai-wei's shirt. Before checking, she even glared at me. I had a feeling that after Lin Kai-wei arrived, I no longer had any standing in this house, but I still peeked over to have a look. Luckily, they weren't chafed much. I breathed a sigh of relief, then said in a slightly fierce tone, "Don't you know how to call me to wake me up or push me away?" As a result, Lin Kai-wei smiled sweetly at me. "You hugged me while we slept. I didn't have any more nightmares. Thank you." I cursed silently in my heart. She's not a little pervert. As a child, she was actually quite cute. A strong man like me can't resist. I really want a little sister like this. So why did she become so twisted later on? After breakfast, Mom and Dad took Lin Kai-wei out shopping. I was left at home, because school was starting in a little over a week, and I hadn't written a single word of my summer homework. When Lin Kai-wei came back, she had changed into new clothes. Her hair had also been trimmed. She tiptoed closer and slipped me a piece of candy, whispering, "Brother, I secretly hid this from Auntie. She doesn't know." The 8-year-old me did love candy. Seeing the expectant look in her eyes, my heart was instantly captured. I took the milk candy and unwrapped it, and quickly popped it into Lin Kai-wei's mouth. Lin Kai-wei's mouth let out a soft sound. Only kids like to eat this stuff. The sound of unwrapping the candy must have been too loud. Mom, who was assembling a bunk bed in the room, suddenly turned her head to look at me. "Chen-jun, are you secretly eating candy again? Do you even want to keep your teeth?" she said as she strode over aggressively. But Lin Kai-wei quickly stood in front of me. Her little face was puffed up, her voice muffled. "Auntie, it wasn't him. It was me, Mom." Hearing that, she froze. I felt a bit helpless. I don't like candy anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. In my past life, toothaches were truly deadly. I won't dare this time. Lin Kai-wei nodded cutely beside me. He's very well behaved. He didn't eat it. A few days later, the two of them became bunk bed roommates. I was cooped up at home doing homework, with a little tail following me. While I did my homework, Lin Kai-wei read a book beside me. Lin Kai-wei's grades were very good. She finished her summer homework long ago. The two of them had actually both started school. They were in first grade at 6 years old. For me, it was because my parents were busy, and really had no time to take care of me, so they thought, let's just send him to school. As for Lin Kai-wei, it was because her mother was actually about to leave. She was afraid her daughter would be beaten more at home, so she decisively sent her to school. I found her truly pitiful. One day after school, her mother left her and ran away. After that, her father beat her every day. Looking at her small, scarred face, I sighed. Lin Kai-wei turned her head to look at me, blinking her eyes. "Do you want to watch TV? Then let's sneak a little watch. I won't tell Auntie. Or do you want to eat watermelon? I'll go get it for you." Looking into her clear eyes, I suspected that the cold look I saw on her at first was just a misconception due to my psychological state. In the blink of an eye, it was the first day of school. At the school gate, my parents repeatedly reminded me, "Kai-wei's wounds just healed. You have to protect her a little." But Lin Kai-wei said seriously, "Uncle, I will protect him." Their class was class 1, grade 3. I discovered that Lin Kai-wei, who usually liked to stick to me, slowed her pace after entering the school, choosing to walk behind me. So I deliberately slowed down, but she still didn't catch up. I probably had a guess in my heart. She was trying to avoid suspicion. Then I hesitated for a moment, but in the end, I didn't say anything more. Although I knew Lin Kai-wei was very pitiful now, whenever I thought about my past life and how miserably I died. Chen-jun is here. Seeing me walk into the classroom, few boys gathered around and greeted me with grins. Among them, a short-haired boy stood out. He was my desk mate, Tong Jin Cheng. He came over and pulled me. "Let's sit in the second to last row." I had just walked over and put my bag down, when suddenly a disdainful voice sounded next to me. "You can't sit here. A beggar should sit in the trash pile." Lin Kai-wei's new school bag was pushed to the ground by the girl standing opposite her. I couldn't help but frown. Lin Kai-wei was clearly very pretty today. She was wearing a new pink and white dress that Mom had bought. Her hair was also tied up very neatly. Although some scars were still visible on her arms, she wasn't dirty at all, but she was still being called a little beggar. Lin Kai-wei stood beside me, her head lowered, making her expression unreadable. She listened to the laughter of the other students and looked at the bag thrown on the ground, a pink school bag. It had a picture of Pleasant Goat on it. The first time she saw it, she liked the school bag with Pleasant Goat, which many girls in the class had, but she saw the price, 56 yuan, very expensive. So at the supermarket, she only glanced at it twice and then looked away. But last night after dinner, Auntie took out this school bag and gave it to her. She treated it like a treasure. Last night, she even placed it by her bedside to sleep. Now it was thrown on the ground by someone. Everyone was saying she was dirty. The rims of Lin Kai-wei's eyes turned red. A fierce glint flashed in her eyes, but suddenly a fair, chubby hand picked up the bag from the floor. Immediately after, in Lin Kai-wei's ear, a familiar voice sounded. "Shen Yusuo, don't go too far. This bag is new, and you threw it away. Besides, this seat is empty." Shen Yusuo didn't expect that someone would speak up for Lin Kai-wei. She was clearly blushing. "It is new. Her dress is new too." Lin Kaiwei is so pretty today. She's not dirty at all. Children's good and evil are really easily influenced. Before, they saw Lin Kaiwei as dirty, so they isolated her. Now that they see she's beautiful, they want to get close to her. Hearing many people speak up for Lin Kaiwei, Shen Yusuo's face turned even redder with anger. What? Where did she get the money? She probably stole it. You shut up. This dress and school bag were bought by my parents. And the shoes too. Is there a problem with that? I stood in front of Lin Kaiwei and placed the bag in my hand on the seat that Lin Kaiwei wanted. This spot was 1 aisle away from my own. Lin Kaiwei, sit here. No one is sitting here. The students around didn't dare to speak. Tong Jincheng tugged me and whispered, "Don't get involved anymore." I ignored him. For the first time, I took the initiative to take Lin Kaiwei's hand and pushed her into the seat. Sit down. The little girl looked at me timidly. The rims of her eyes were all red. I cursed in my heart. Such a cute little girl. What must she have gone through to become the person she would be later? Scenes like today's? How many times had she encountered them since childhood? If she doesn't sit here, who's going to sit in the trash pile? This was a boy who was on pretty good terms with Shen Yusuo, who said unhappily, "You can't bear to leave the trash pile? Then you go sit there." I glanced at the boy who had just spoken. He was the tallest person in our class, named Kwang Moge. Hearing me say that, Kwang Moge glared angrily. What did I do? Class is starting. Find your own seats. Just then, the homeroom teacher, Teacher Lei, walked into the classroom and shouted sternly, "Students are all afraid of teachers." Very quickly, everyone dispersed. Lin Kaiwei glanced at me beside her, still standing by her side like a knight. I felt her gaze and comforted her. Just sit down and don't worry. Much of the fierceness in Lin Kaiwei's heart dissipated. She secretly pursed her lips into a smile. This was the first time someone at school had protected her. At this moment, I was a little worried. Our class has an odd number of students. Could it be that really no one will sit with Lin Kaiwei? As I was thinking, a girl ran over to the seat next to Lin Kaiwei and sat down. It was the committee member for publicity in their class, Sudaji. She was originally a classmate of Shen Yusuo. I noticed Shen Yusuo stomp her foot angrily. The teacher knocked on the desk. Everyone be quiet. After summer vacation, have your minds flown away? For now, just sit wherever you want. Well, reassign seats in the afternoon. Now, the class president and vice president, collect the summer homework. I was tapped by Tong Jincheng. The teacher is telling you to collect the summer homework. Why do I feel like something is off with you? It was only then that I remembered. I think I was the vice president in elementary school. I sighed and stood up. Lin Kaiwei watched me start collecting homework from the back. She slowly retracted her gaze. Sudaji, who was beside her, had been staring at her ever since she sat down. Lin Kaiwei gave her a cold glance. This Sudaji, she remembered that although she didn't bully her, she was also a bystander. Unexpectedly, when Sudaji saw her look over, her eyes lit up. Lin Kaiwei, you're so pretty, just like the doll my mom bought for me. Such a frank compliment. After all, she was still young. Lin Kaiwei just gave her a glance and coldly turned away. There weren't really any classes on the first day of school. I was sleepy the whole day. Fortunately, aside from the small conflict in the morning, nothing else happened the whole day. Well, you can't say nothing happened. There was a group of people in class who, because I protected Lin Kaiwei, seemed to isolate me a bit. A small group led by Kwang Moge seemed to be isolating me. There were also people like Sudaji who wanted to try and be friends with a completely different-looking Lin Kaiwei, but Lin Kaiwei was as cold as ice, paying no attention to anyone. Only towards me did she show a different side, soft and obedient, doing whatever I said. I felt quite pleased in my heart, but at this moment, I still couldn't help but glance at the person behind me. You have to make new friends at school too. They all want to be friends with you now. But some of them used to bully me. Lin Kaiwei, wearing her school bag, followed behind me. Even when scolded, she just lowered her lashes and explained in a tiny voice. I thought to myself, if we're defining it like that, then I could also be considered to have bullied Lin Kaiwei before. Before I could even say anything, Kwang Moge and a few boys from the class rushed out from nowhere and gave me a hard shove. I couldn't help it. I cursed and fell straight into the alley entrance beside us. I only felt my knees and the hand that braced my fall hurt. I probably scraped them, Kwang Moge smugly said from the side. This is what you get for playing with Lin Kaiwei. You're all beggars. I was just about to get up and deal with these mischievous kids when I looked up. My eyeballs almost popped out. Because at that moment, Lin Kaiwei had picked up half a brick from somewhere. Her small face was cold and even showed killing intent. I saw the situation wasn't good and shouted loudly, but Lin Kaiwei acted as if she didn't hear. She used the sharp edge to stab hard at Kwang Moge's leg. Seeing this scene, I was about to be scared to death. I ignored the pain in my body and rushed to hug Lin Kaiwei. But the brick still hit Kwang Moge's leg. But luckily it wasn't the sharp side. Kwang Moge let out a wail and burst into tears. The other two boys were scared by this turn of events and didn't dare to move. Seeing Lin Kaiwei brandishing the brick, I felt truly terrified. Seeing she couldn't break free from me, Lin Kaiwei forcefully threw the brick in her hand. It hit Kwang Mogi again, and the leg of the boy next to him. With a wail, the boy burst into tears along with Kwang Mogi, and the remaining one was also scared. I held the still struggling girl tightly. My mind was buzzing. I immediately became much more serious. Lin Kaiwei, do you want to be expelled? The person who had been struggling gradually slowed down. Seeing that she had finally quieted down, I yelled at the 3 kids who were crying their eyes out. If you keep crying, I'm going to find the teacher and tell her you all ganged up on me. My voice was very loud. It scared Kwang Mogi and his friends so much they were elementary school students after all. Then I looked fiercely at Lin Kaiwei in my arms. After I let you go, don't move. Otherwise, I'll tell Mom. As expected, Lin Kaiwei became obedient, but her eyes were cold as they fell upon the 3 boys opposite her. The hand that had just been pierced by the brick, as if it felt nothing, held me tightly. For a moment, I didn't notice. I just breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to Kwang Mogi. I took a look. The leg that was hit wasn't even scraped. I even pressed hard on the red spot. Kwang Mogi wailed again. Chen Jun, what are you calling your dad for? I have a hot temper too. I stared at him. Have you guys never been beaten by your parents before? Daring to push someone on the side of the road. My expression and tone must have been too stern. The 3 boys were scared stiff. Kwang Mogi wanted to retort. I pushed him into the alley. So did you push me or not? I cut him off, pointing to my scraped leg and my elbow. All of this is because you pushed me first. If the teacher sees this, she'll definitely call our parents. But Lin Kaiwei hit us too. That's because you deserved it. My voice got a little louder. Who told you to? Always. Call people beggars and bully them at school every day, and make them sit next to the trash can. Hearing that, Kwang Mogi and his friends were stunned and didn't dare to speak anymore. I won't tell the teacher about today. You guys go home. At the same time, don't tell your families either. Otherwise, all it takes is one question to know you started it. And with more questions, they'll know you. Bullied Lin Kaiwei at school. Hearing my warning, the 3 of them could only leave with red eyes. I thought to myself, luckily, they're just 3rd graders. They don't have any particularly malicious thoughts. That's good. Deceiving. No, that's not right. There is one malicious kid right now standing still with her head down. I walked up to her and asked, if I hadn't stopped you, what were you planning to do? They bullied you. Lin Kaiwei's voice was very soft, but when she was bullied, there was a feeling of gritting her teeth. I took a deep breath, just about to say something, when I saw her hand tremble unconsciously. I pulled it over and saw in the palm of her hand there was a bloody wound. It was still bleeding. Hey, you're hurt. Why didn't you say so? My tone was a bit fierce. Then I felt her instinctively tremble. I'm sorry. I felt a bit helpless, but my tone was still very cold. From now on, you're not allowed to hit people with bricks. If you hit someone, what will you do if something happens to them? Will you stop going to school? What if your dad is notified? Lin Kaiwei didn't say anything, just stared at me, holding her hand. Actually, she didn't feel any pain at all. In fact, being held by me like this, she felt happy. Seeing that she didn't answer, I continued. Did you hear me? Lin Kaiwei obediently nodded. I heard you, brother. Anyway, if I don't use a brick, I can use something else. After the 2 of them got home, their parents weren't off work yet, so I could only treat Lin Kaiwei's wound myself. Suddenly, I thought of something. When your dad hits you, do you hit back? I actually vaguely remember when I was little, because of the loud noise and fighting from the neighbor's house being too loud, Mom went over to knock on their door once. Lin Kaiwei was covered in blood and taken away by an ambulance. I heard she had many broken bones, and there were problems with her internal organs too. Mom once said this child had suffered a lot. Seeing Lin Kaiwei's cruelty today, I had a feeling this wasn't the first time she had done this. Lin Kaiwei didn't expect me to ask this. She was silent for a moment, then said, when it hurts, I can't help but fight back. The cotton swab in my hand trembled. Thinking of all the wounds on her body before, don't be so impulsive in the future. You have to protect yourself first. Like today's incident, they didn't fight back. Otherwise, who could you have fought against? But Lin Kaiwei raised her head and looked at me seriously. It's fine if they bully me. I can endure it. I want to go to school, but they can't bully you. As she spoke, she held out her injured hand. As if she felt no pain, she took my hand. Brother, I will protect you. The cool feeling of the alcohol was warmed by their intertwined hands. I came to my senses and lightly tapped her arm. Let go. I just finished disinfecting it for you. Now I have to do it again. It's just that this time, my hand was very steady as I applied the medicine. After going to school, Kwang Mogi and his friends didn't dare to come and bother the 2 of them anymore. They were kids, after all. After a period of awkwardness, 2 days later, during gym class, wanted to find me to hang out again. But Lin Kaiwei was like a puppy guarding its food. If I hadn't stopped her, she probably would have really rushed forward and taken a few bites out of them. Kwang Mogi and the others were very afraid of Lin Kaiwei. Even though she looked small and beautiful, she would really hit people with bricks. This semester, Lin Kaiwei was dressed cleanly, and there were no more wounds on her face. Her features were revealed to be very beautiful. Although she was cold, she still had a few female friends by her side, and even some male friends. Shen Yuchu still didn't like Lin Kaiwei, but she didn't actively pick fights with her either. Lin Kai-wei's situation was really good, much better than at this time in my previous life. At this moment, I was resting my face on the desk, trying to recall things about Lin Kai-wei from my past life. My deepest impression was that Lin Kai-wei was always alone when she was at school. In elementary school, she was rarely beaten. It was mostly verbal abuse and isolation. She was silent and a bit dirty, and she even looked very gloomy. But her academic performance was very good. Actually, under normal circumstances, teachers always favored students with good grades. She wouldn't have been isolated forever. But because Lin Kai-wei's father was Lin I-kun, he had once come to the school when she was in first grade and caused a scene while drunk. The teachers didn't want to get involved in Lin Kai-wei's affairs, for fear of getting entangled with the gangster Lin I-kun. After that, before she even started middle school, in 6th grade, during the summer vacation, she was taken to the hospital covered in blood. That was the time my mother went to knock on their door. I heard she was almost beaten to death, where she went after being discharged from the hospital. I have no impression. Much later, I think I met her on a blind date. The period in between spanned more than 10 years. My memories of her are almost a complete blank. I racked my brain but couldn't think of any other connection between her and me. But I remember the Lin Kai-wei from the blind date very clearly. From the moment she appeared, she captured all of my attention. Long white hair, exquisite features, cold and alluring, although she seemed a bit cold. But her innocent doe eyes, when she looked at me, shone with a smile and purity. For a 26-year-old single man like me, my heart started pounding in an instant. Sorry I'm late. Chen-jun, do you still remember me? I'm your blind date, Lin Kai-wei. Her voice was very gentle, with a relaxed smile. At that time, I thought my mom was so reliable. How could such an outstanding girl also have to go on a blind date? During our conversation, Lin Kai-wei made me laugh nonstop. At that time, I didn't think at all that she had prepared in advance. The next second after drinking the drugged water before I lost consciousness, I received a text from my mom. Chen-jun, the girl got hit by a car after work. She can't make it today. Let's reschedule. This girl has a good personality and is polite. The good news is, at least I knew I had been tricked. The bad news is, I found out a bit too late. It wasn't even until a few days later, when I realized I was about to die, that I found out. Lin Kai-wei had probably also been tricked by a fake drug seller after realizing I had stopped breathing. Lin Kai-wei questioned the seller. On the phone, isn't it supposed to be a sleeping pill? Why does he seem like he took some other drug? The second message was, he's dead, but it couldn't be sent at all. The other party had blocked her. After that, Lin Kai-wei sat silently by the bed and reached out to touch my face. She suddenly let out a laugh, picked up the knife on the table, and without hesitation, joined me. I reflexively wanted to stop her, but unfortunately, it was useless. Suddenly I heard something being placed gently on my desk. I abruptly raised my head and glared. My tone was very fierce. What are you doing? Lin Kai-wei's eyes widened. With the cold red bean soup still in her hand, she gently placed it on my desk. I just bought this for you. Sudeji next to her said disapprovingly. Chen-jun, why are you being so fierce? To buy this for you, Kai-wei stood in line for a very long time. After getting it, she even had to run back. Only then did I notice Lin Kai-wei. Her forehead and neck were covered in sweat, and her face was a bit flushed. The red bean soup she was holding was the limited edition from the school cafeteria. Not only did you have to line up, but it also cost 3 yuan a cup. Mom gave each of us 5 yuan a week for allowance. Today was already Thursday. Mine was spent long ago, but Lin Kai-wei bought this for me. Lin Kai-wei glanced coldly at Sudaji, who was speaking up for her. I was the one who disturbed Chen-jun's sleep. Sudaji puffed out her cheeks angrily and turned her head away without saying anything. Lin Kai-wei didn't seem to care either. She just pushed the cup of red bean soup a little closer to me. It's still cold. I sighed helplessly, directly stuck a straw in it and handed it to her. Drink it. Although my tone was very fierce, my actions were very gentle. Careful not to poke her. Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment. This was bought for you. She herself couldn't bear to buy this. But yesterday when Kwang Mo-gae and the others were drinking this, Chen-jun was wailing. 5 yuan of allowance is not enough at all. She thought I must like it. Hurry up, everyone will see in a moment. I frowned at her. I actually wanted to give it all to her, but if I refused, she would definitely be very sad. My complicated and tangled thoughts were just. Although I'm not afraid of her anymore, it's still very awkward. Lin Kai-wei looked at the straw being held to her lips and carefully glanced at me, although I looked fierce. She knew I wasn't fierce at all. She blinked and gently took a small sip of the red bean soup, then smiled and said, "It's delicious." Lin Kai-wei's smile was very sweet. The small curve at the corner of her mouth looked a bit shy. I looked at the cute and shy little girl and felt even more gloomy. "Do you want to drink it? Here, it's for you." I immediately handed the cup of red bean soup to her, but saw a flash of sadness on Lin Kai-wei's face. She looked a bit flustered. Sorry, is it because I drank it? That you think it's dirty?" Hearing that, I felt even more helpless. I expressionlessly pulled my hand back, brought the cup of red bean soup to my lips, took a sip and said with some annoyance, "All right, sit properly." Sudaji frowned from the side. She didn't know why Lin Kai-wei was so timid in front of me. My attitude towards her was just too bad. Lin Kai-wei saw that I didn't mind the red bean soup that she had drunk from. Her heart was filled with excitement, even more excited than when she stabbed Lin I-kun with a knife. Chen-jun is so nice. It would be great if he could be this nice to me for a lifetime. She would also treat him very, very well. No one is allowed to bully Chen-jun, and no one can take him away. Soon, it had been 2 months since school started. But I still hadn't seen Lin I-kun return. Last night, I heard my parents whispering something. I always felt something was wrong. After school in the afternoon, I immediately asked, "Has your father ever not come home for this long before?" Lin Kai-wei, who was hugging her school bag beside me, her face stiffened. "I don't know. He once didn't come home for 3 months." As she spoke, her hands unconsciously fiddled with her bag strap, looking a bit tense and anxious. I felt a little regretful. I shouldn't have asked Lin Kai-wei directly. For her, Lin I-kun was a nightmare. I reached out and held her hand that was fiddling with the strap. "It's okay if he comes back. He'll secretly hide you away." Lin Kai-wei was stunned when she heard that. Hide her? Not just ignore her and let her go home? Everyone in the neighborhood was afraid of Lin I-kun. When he went crazy, he would even relieve himself in front of other people's doors. Lin Kai-wei truly felt that Lin I-kun couldn't be considered a person anymore. He was just an animal, and animals belong in a slaughterhouse. Thinking of this, her eyes turned cold, faintly carrying a murderous intent, but the hand holding hers was very warm. Actually, the problem needs to be solved at its root. It's just the method. I still haven't figured it out. Let's just hide first. You can't get hurt anymore. I thought I should still go home and ask my parents, mainly because myself. In the body of a little boy now, I really can't do anything. It's just that as soon as the two of us got home, we found out why we hadn't seen Lin I-kun return. At this moment, in front of Lin Kai-wei's house, a woman was standing. The woman was very beautiful and looked a lot like Lin Kai-wei. When the woman saw Lin Kai-wei, she called out excitedly, "Xiao Bao!" But there was no expression on Lin Kai-wei's face. She even instinctively hid behind me. I also instinctively reached out to protect her. The woman's face was a little pale and also a little awkward. Then her gaze fell on me. "You're Chen-jun, right? Do you still remember me?" Im Kai-wei's mother, Aunt Kai. I thought to myself, who would remember you? But I still called out, "Aunt Kai." Kai Wenji sighed in relief and looked towards Lin Kai-wei again. "Kai-wei, Mom has something to tell you. My mom just got home from work, carrying groceries up the stairs from behind." Kai-wei, Chen-jun, standing at the top of the stairs for what? "Come on in." Mom's voice trailed off. She called out in surprise, "Kai Wenji, you're back." The four of them still went into the house together. Lin Kai-wei, from beginning to end, didn't say a single word to Kai Wenji. Kai Wenji tried to pull her hand but was avoided. This made her awkward, to the point where she didn't know what to do with her hands and feet. My mother, on the other hand, sighed. "Chen-jun, take Kai-wei into the room to do homework, and bring the watermelon in to eat too." I didn't want to go in. I wanted to hear what they were going to talk about. But right now, I'm just an 8-year-old child. But after entering the room, I intentionally didn't close the door tightly. Unfortunately, I have to say, Mom understands me very well. She walked over and glared at me, then closed the door tightly. I sighed. Pressing against the door, I couldn't hear anything clearly. "You want to hear what they're saying that badly?" A soft voice sounded next to my ear. I cursed under my breath. "You almost scared me to death. You're really a coward." It's so strange. I clearly couldn't hear Mom when I was pressed against the door, what they were talking about. But my one curse word earned me a powerful scolding from Mom. "Chen-jun, if you keep learning these vulgar words, I'll hit you. You'll check your homework later." I answered yes, then couldn't help but pinch Lin Kai-wei's cheek. "See if you dare scare me again." Lin Kai-wei didn't dodge, just mumbled an unclear sorry, looking at those innocent doe eyes. I felt a little disheartened. I let go of her and sat back down at the... Noticing Lin Kai-wei was very calm, she calmly took out her homework and started writing. I was really curious. "Don't you want to know what your mom is saying? What can I do even if I know?" Lin Kai-wei's tone was very calm. "She doesn't want me anyway. Kai Wenji left 3 or 4 years ago and filed for divorce over a year ago. So she and Lin I-kun no longer have any relationship. She hasn't returned once since she left. She knows what kind of person Lin I-kun is, and she also knows what might happen to Lin Kai-wei, but she still heartlessly left her daughter here. The first few days after I was reborn, I heard Lin I-kun beating and scolding her. "You, that bitch of a mother doesn't even want you. You're a bitch too. Why don't you run away? Go find her. Doesn't she not want you? She sees that you're like me, you carry my blood. She doesn't want you. Who would want you?" I heard those words very clearly at that time. Very clearly. It wasn't the first time Lin I-kun had said that to Lin Kai-wei. Seeing her say so naturally now, words like "she doesn't want me either," I couldn't help but ask. If you don't try, how would you know? Maybe she came to take you with her this time. Otherwise, why would she suddenly appear? Lin Kai-wei stopped writing when she heard that, and said seriously, "Brother, I told you before that I had never met her. That was a lie. I've gone to find her before. A year ago, she met a very rich man. But at that time when she saw me, she looked as if she had seen a ghost. She probably didn't expect that I was still alive. Lin Kai-wei tried to recall that scene. Her tone was very indifferent. At that time, I had just run away from home. Lin Ai-kun was drunk and tired from hitting me. I was afraid she would worry, so I went to a nearby restroom to clean myself up. But when Kai Wenji saw me, there was only fear and panic in her eyes. No heartache, no lingering affection. She held on tightly to the man beside her. That man also saw me and seemed a little surprised. That child is hurt. Then she said to that man, "Don't meddle in this business. It might be a scam." In the end, she pulled that person away. The story Lin Kai-wei told was very simple, but at this moment, I clenched the pen in my hand tightly. How desperate she must have been at that time. How much courage did she muster to go find her mother? But the reality that struck her was probably even more painful than being beaten by Lin Ai-kun. "No one wants me," Lin Kai-wei said quietly, her long eyelashes hiding the emotion in her eyes. "She won't want me this time either when she comes back." "Nonsense. You still have me?" "No, you still have my mom and dad. They like you very much. They wish you were their real daughter." I reached out a little awkwardly and patted her head. "You're a child. Don't be so pessimistic. You're just a child who's been a little unlucky. But do you know what it means to hit rock bottom and bounce back? It means that since you're so unlucky now, you only have good luck from now on." After saying that, I even nodded firmly. When Lin Kai-wei heard this, she looked up at me, her eyes sparkling brightly. "Really? Really? Then you won't abandon me, will you?" Lin Kai-wei asked back in a small voice, her small hand gently gripping the hem of my shirt. I feel like this sentence isn't quite right, but seeing her on the verge of tears, I still nodded. "Don't worry. It's just that I didn't notice." That at this moment where I couldn't see, Lin Kai-wei's lips curved into a slight smile. It seems kind people are always easy to deceive. She thought, Chen Jun can only be deceived by me, Lin Kai-wei. As for me, I was thinking, the more I understand Lin Kai-wei, the more I understand why she became like that in her past life. In this life, I'll try my best. She's so smart. In the future, she can repay society well. By the time Lin Kai-wei and I were allowed to come out, Kai Wen-ji had already left. Mom held Lin Kai-wei's hand, her eyes filled with heartache. There was a card placed on the table. I probably guessed what had happened. I only saw Mom looking gently at Lin Kai-wei. "Kai-wei, let Auntie tell you something. Your father committed manslaughter. He'll probably have to go to jail for a few years." After saying this, she glanced at Lin Kai-wei's face, but the other party remained expressionless and just nodded obediently. Mom sighed and continued. "Normally you should go live with your mother, but it's probably not convenient for your mother. From now on, you can live with Auntie and Uncle Chen, and with brother Chen Jun, okay?" At this moment, Mom was also very helpless. Just now, Kai Wen-ji had knelt down, saying she was about to get married. The other party didn't know she had a daughter. She said she had no other choice. Mom's expression at that time was very cold, but Kai Wen-ji probably realized that Mom was soft-hearted. If Mom didn't agree, she would go find other people in the neighborhood. Mom thought of the well-behaved Lin Kai-wei. She wouldn't feel at ease in trusting her to others. "Kai-wei, your mother isn't abandoning you. She left a card. In the future, she will send money every month. If you want to see her, Auntie will help you get in touch." It's just that Mom hadn't finished speaking. When she heard Lin Kai-wei say softly, "Auntie, I agree, you can have all that money. I just need to be able to go to school and have food to eat. I will be very good. I won't cause trouble for anyone." As she spoke, she gently tugged on my mom's sleeve. "Auntie, don't abandon me." Then I saw Mom burst into tears right on the spot. So it's settled. The little psycho will now really become my sister. And so, Lin Kai-wei stayed at my house. As for how many years Lin Ai-kun was sentenced to, no one could say for sure. After all, I hadn't heard Dad say. I still needed to ask around a bit. Kai Wen-ji actually came here and didn't explain anything clearly. Mom even said Kai Wen-ji probably didn't want to care for Lin Kai-wei either, but was afraid of being found out for abandoning her child. She even said that Lin Kai-wei's life was as tough as Lin Ai-kun's, that the child actually survived. Mom's low voice came from the room, carrying anger. I, standing at the door, also felt angry. In their original home, no one wanted Lin Kai-wei to live, not even her parents. The person who protected her child like that before didn't take Kai-wei with her when she left. I also find it strange. Dad sighed. "Now that the child is with us, let's just raise her well. I think she's a sensible child too. Let's just consider it finding a friend for Chen Jun." I turned around and tiptoed back to my room. Now, on the bunk bed, Lin Kai-wei sleeps on the top bunk, I sleep on the bottom. Just as I stepped through the door, I saw someone sitting on the mattress on the floor. A curse in my heart almost slipped out. The small figure suddenly turned its head and called out softly, "Brother." I let out a breath and walked over, lowering my voice to ask, "Aren't you asleep?" "I woke up from a nightmare and found that you weren't here." The little girl's voice was small and carried a sob. She reached out her hand and habitually grabbed the hem of my shirt. I noticed a glint of moisture in her eyes. Did she cry herself awake? Thinking of the words I had just heard, I sighed and proactively took Lin Kai-wei's small hand in mine. "What are you doing sitting on the floor? Get up and go to sleep. I just went out for a drink of water. Lin Kai-wei stood up with my pole, but had no intention of climbing up, just stood still on the spot. I looked at her, hesitating for a moment. Scared to sleep alone? I won't go out again later. Can I sleep on the floor? I just want to be a little closer to you. Lin Kai-wei's voice was small and trembling. I don't dare to lie up there alone. It's too far from you. Anyway, the lights weren't on. Otherwise, I would have been able to see the excitement in her eyes, which couldn't be hidden at all. Just now, she really did dream, but in the dream, she had killed Lin Ai-kun. When Lin Kai-wei woke up, the excitement and thrill made her whole body tremble, and her eyes shone even brighter. After hearing my footsteps, she just got out of bed. She knows I'm a softie, especially after knowing what Keiwen-ji did to her. I became even softer. Lin Kai-wei doesn't like to be pitied by others, but if that person is me, it's different. At this moment, I was silent for a while, and in the end, I still made some space and said sullenly, "Just for tonight, get on." Lin Kai-wei gave a sweet smile and quickly climbed up. She only dared to take up a tiny bit, a very small space. Brother, I don't move around when I sleep. I thought to myself, I know, but I'm the one who moves around. I glared at Lin Kai-wei lying next to me and suddenly said, "Let me tell you a bedtime story. Brother, tell me the one about once upon a time, there was an old man who had 12 sons. Brother, civilization, harmony." Her hesitant and timid voice rang out. "Shut up," I said, a bit annoyed. "You already know this stuff at only 8? Then recite it once." I resigned myself a little. "From now on, you have to recite it once every day." "Yes, brother." In a daze, I fell asleep again. Lin Kai-wei turned her head to look at me and smiled. She slowly leaned in closer, until I habitually turned over in my sleep and hugged her. Only then did she close her eyes in satisfaction. Although my arm was a bit heavy, she felt very safe. After that day, the relationship between me and Lin Kai-wei unexpectedly became more harmonious. I had finally convinced myself to accept Lin Kai-wei and was determined to raise her well. And Lin Ai-kun's final verdict was out. Manslaughter, sentenced to 7 years in prison. This meant that for these 7 years, Lin Kai-wei would be safe. In 7 years, she'd be 15. Well, deal with Lin Ai-kun when he gets out then. Anyway, I had a problem now. It's that my roommate kept having nightmares. 2 or 3 times a week, she would stand pitifully beside my bed. "If you have nightmares again, you'll call mom to sleep with you." I glared at her, my tone unfriendly. Lin Kai-wei blinked. Her eyelashes were long and curly, her eyes clear. She looked very innocent, but I was already immune. Every time she got into my bed, she was very well behaved, but when I woke up the next day, I would definitely be hugging her, like hugging a big doll. Is that okay? Is that reasonable? She's not a 2 or 3-year-old child anymore. Lin Kai-wei's hair had grown longer, cascading down her back. Her face had filled out a bit and she had grown taller, but when she looked at me, she was still very meek. Now, even when scolded, she just said, "Oh, I know, I'll go right after I finish reciting." With that, she turned away with a disappointed look. I suddenly called her back, "Wait." When she looked at me with bright eyes, I continued, "If Su Daji and Kwang Mogi get into a fight, what would you do if you saw them? Let them die for all I care. Not taking the opportunity to harm them is already good enough," Lin Kai-wei thought to herself. But facing my stern gaze, she said seriously, "I'd stop them and go get a teacher." I nodded in satisfaction. "All right, go to sleep." I felt she was still salvageable. At least, through this period of observation, the results of my education were quite clear. Lin Kai-wei saw that I was happy. She said, "Brother, good night," and climbed into bed. Then, in the middle of the night when I got up to use the bathroom, I opened my eyes to see her lying on the rug right beside my bed. Lin Kai-wei was always very well behaved at home. At school, she was the cold little sister. She was indifferent to everyone except me. But because I asked her to get along with her classmates, Lin Kai-wei now had friends, sort of. Now, in the 6th grade, she was the object of admiration for many classmates, mainly because of her good grades. I was very satisfied with this. As for me, my social life had always been pretty good. I was still a slightly chubby, handsome guy. I remember in my past life, because I was fat in middle school, I was made fun of by others. So later I spent a lot of time losing weight. So I insisted on taking swimming lessons during the summer break. Mom rolled her eyes. "What's with swimming lessons in this cold winter? With your grades, you should go to tutoring. You have exams next semester." Hearing that I had to go to tutoring, Kai-wei's eyes lit up. "Auntie, I can tutor Chen-jun." I glanced at her, thinking, hey to myself, "Are you sure? Now that you're taller, you don't even call me brother anymore." "We can't affect Kai-wei's studies. Your teachers said that with your grades, getting into Yizhong High is a sure thing." "Auntie, I can do it. I want to go to Yizhong High with Chen-jun," Lin Kai-wei said, glancing at me. I let out a sigh. "Mom, I can really do well on the exam. You and Dad can rest assured." Hearing this, Mom nodded. "We'll talk about it later. We're moving tomorrow. Wake up a little earlier." That's right. We were finally about to move. Both of us were already 11 years old. It wasn't appropriate for us to live together anymore. That night was considered the last time the two of us would share a room. Compared to my happiness, Lin Kai-wei was clearly a bit unhappy. especially when she saw me take out a small pink gift from my school bag. Her expression immediately turned cold. Actually, I was a bit baffled too. What is this? I rummaged around a bit. Sure enough, there was a pink note inside. A QQ number was written on it, along with a sentence. Chen Jun, can we be online friends? We can discuss our studies together. I put the thing away, planning to stuff it back into the class president's desk on Monday. That's right. This handwriting belonged to my class president, who had a generous personality. Her grades weren't bad. That's all. It's not like I'm a pervert who would have some kind of reaction to a confession from an 11 or 12-year-old girl. Who would have some kind of reaction? In fact, I felt a little awkward. Lin Kaiwai's eyes widened, watching my actions. She spoke slowly. Brother, what is this? I said seriously. Little girls don't need to know. You just need to study hard. Lin Kaiwai said nothing. She just kept looking at me like that, her small face tense. She looked unhappy. I used my hand to turn her head away. Do your homework. Lin Kaiwai pursed her lips and let out a soft, oh. It doesn't matter. She could guess who it was. I am her brother. No one can take me away. That night, I silently watched Lin Kaiwai as she stood by my bed, hugging a pillow. Brother, I'm scared. I want to sleep with you, Lin Kaiwai said righteously. I took a deep breath and pointed at her bed full of dolls. I had given her all of them, big and small. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid they'll come to life and eat you? Unexpectedly, Lin Kaiwai actually nodded. I dreamed that Spider-Man bit me, and I turned into a spider. Then Captain America led a group of superheroes to chase me. They said I was a monster. On the way, I met Doraemon, and he didn't save me either. Seeing her make up stories so convincingly with no change in her expression, I couldn't help but curse. You can even make up stuff like this? Dad just passed by the door. Chen Jun, do you want a beating again? I don't, Dad. We're going to sleep now, I said hurriedly. Then I saw the person who was being chased by Captain America's team nimbly climb onto my bed. Although I was very unhappy, once Lin Kaiwai got on, she wouldn't get off. I asked again as usual. If you encounter an opponent much stronger than you, when you're fighting them, what would you do? Lin Kaiwai, after all these years, knew exactly what answer I wanted to hear. First, protect myself. Wait for my brother and auntie and uncle to come save me. I hummed in satisfaction. Remember that. Don't be like when you were little, always thinking about taking them down with you. You have to remember that I and Mom and Dad are waiting for you. You have family, you have many friends, you also have us. My voice grew softer and softer, and I quickly fell asleep. Lin Kaiwai. The anger she felt thinking someone wanted to steal her brother suddenly vanished just like that. She wanted to be the child, who was forever well-behaved in my eyes. She whispered goodnight in my ear. Brother. Then she closed her eyes in peace. Early the next morning, on moving day, the moving company arrived. My and Lin Kaiwai's things were almost packed up. As soon as I left the room, I saw several aunties chatting in the living room. Raising Kaiwai these past few years must have really paid off. Look, they've even bought a new house. Just then, a shrill voice rang in my ear. It was Auntie Pai Meng from upstairs. After hearing that Kai Wenji gave us a large sum for child support every month, I had heard no shortage of sarcastic remarks from her. During that time, whenever we came home from school, she would block us on the stairs, pulling Lin Kaiwai to her house for dinner. Her words, both explicitly and implicitly, showed she wanted to fight for custody of Lin Kaiwai, but she was shut down by a pitiful-looking Lin Kaiwai who said loudly, "But Auntie Pai Meng, the food you give me smells strange. Even the stray dog Xiaohei downstairs won't eat it. I don't like eating your food." And that was that. The true face of the great philanthropist was exposed. She then started going around saying, Lin Kaiwai was an ungrateful white-eyed wolf. She said my mother had a kind face but a venomous heart, and who knows how she might be abusing Lin Kaiwai. Now seeing that we were about to move, she came over again to see if she could gain some benefit. Hey, since you two have bought a new house, how about selling this one to me for cheap? My mother seemed very gentle on the outside, but I knew she had a fiery temper. Usually, she just couldn't be bothered to deal with her. Now hearing her say that, she revealed a faint, sarcastic smile. Sure. The housing price here is about 6,500 per square meter now. We're all old neighbors, so I'll give it to you for 6,000. But you have to pay in full, all at once. Auntie Pai Meng's wide grin immediately froze. Isn't it 6,000 per square meter? Aren't you just naming an exorbitant price? Hearing that, I yelled and rushed out. Mom, is there a dead rat in the house? Why does it stink so much? Auntie Pai Meng didn't realize that I was saying her mouth stank. Her eyes lit up. See? Your house even has rats. How about this? It'll pay 4,000 per square meter. What do you think? As soon as she said this, the other aunties all looked at her strangely. Auntie Pai Meng even lowered her voice and said, Look, you've already bought a new house. You can't have all the benefits to yourself. I gave Kaiwai plenty of food before. I never asked you for money. My neighbor raised a dog, and it at least knows to watch the house for me. I heard her comparing Lin Kaiwai to a dog. My expression turned even uglier. Your mouth really stinks. You better shut it. My mother's expression was also very ugly. Even a dog wouldn't eat that stuff of yours. You want money? Go ask Lin I-kun and Kai Wenji for it. Please move aside. Don't block the movers. The aunties next to them saw the tense atmosphere. They laughed awkwardly a few times. We just came to congratulate you on moving. We won't bother you anymore, they said, while pulling Auntie Paimeng outside. Auntie Paimeng finally came to her senses. Her face was flushed red. Reaching the door, she yelled into my house. Lin Kaiwei, do you think they really want to help you? They took a lot of money from your mother. Watch out, or you'll be raised as a child bride. For their son, I was so angry I was about to grab a broom and hit someone. The other aunties saw this and pulled Paimeng away quickly. Mom pulled my hoodie back. All right, don't pay any attention to them. These people, that's just their nature. That's why Dad and I wanted to take you kids. She looked towards Lin Kaiwei, standing at the doorway of her room, not knowing how long she had been listening. Kaiwei, come here. Lin Kaiwei obediently walked over. Kaiwei, about what Auntie Wang just said, don't take it to heart. You are very good. You deserve to be loved by many people. Loving you is simply just loving you. There aren't so many calculations involved. It's just that she thinks too much. I added from the side. Besides, there's no such thing as child brides in today's society. Hearing this, Mom rolled her eyes and pretended to hit me. Is that the main point right now? She pulled Lin Kaiwei closer and continued. Auntie and Uncle have recorded all your annual expenses. If you want to see, we can show you. Auntie Wang, Auntie, I know what you mean. Lin Kaiwei interrupted her. Auntie, I'm not a child anymore. I know how to distinguish between good and bad. Saying that, she even gave Mom a sweet smile. Mom breathed a sigh of relief. She herself was a teacher. She knew that children like Kaiwei were very sensitive. Hearing her words now, she felt very relieved. She reached out and patted the little girl's head, her tone doting. How are you not a child? Clearly, I was standing beside them and clearly saw Lin Kaiwei, who was smiling sweetly, secretly glanced towards the door. Her long eyelashes concealed the emotion in her eyes. But I still felt that something was wrong. Sure enough, when I wasn't paying attention, I found that Lin Kaiwei was no longer at home. I suddenly thought of something and glanced at the house across the hall. Since moving into our home, Lin Kaiwei had rarely gone back there, almost never. I walked over to the opposite door. Sure enough, there were fingerprints in the dust. Then I went upstairs. As expected, at the turn of the stairs, I saw Lin Kaiwei. Seemingly not expecting me to come up, Lin Kaiwei instinctively hid what was in her hand. Why are you here? I looked at her. What's in your hand? Kaiwei pursed her lips and said nothing, but her hand couldn't help but clench the sharp thumbtacks. They pierced her palm. She only felt a slight sting. Her expression didn't change at all. She could even smile and say, "It's nothing, let's go down quickly." With that, she tried to walk past me to go downstairs. But I grabbed her wrist. Let me see. Lin Kaiwei's hand couldn't help but tremble. She opened her hand and just whispered an apology. Chenjun, I did wrong. Will you be angry? She thought for a moment and quickly added, I haven't done it yet, so it doesn't really count as doing something wrong. After saying that, she glanced at me cautiously, but I just coldly, indifferently glanced at her. Open your hand. Lin Kaiwei trembled with fear. Her scarred hands trembled as she opened them. The inside was already a bloody mess. I didn't do anything bad, don't be angry. My temper has always been very good, but this time, I was really angry. The usual smile on my face was now completely gone. There was a new severity in my eyes. This was an emotion Lin Kaiwei was completely unfamiliar with. My hand trembled a little as I looked at the bloody palm of Lin Kaiwei, which had several thumbtacks in it. They had pierced her palm. And just now, she seemed to feel no pain. Even now, she didn't cry out in pain. You want to get revenge on Auntie Paimeng by putting thumbtacks on the stairs. My voice was very cold. I looked towards the oil bottle in the corner. Actually, I had noticed it earlier. It wasn't from our house. Lin Kaiwei must have taken it from Lin Aikun's house. Do you know that if you don't control it well, if a thumbtack hits the wrong spot, someone could die? Just then, Mom's voice calling for us came from downstairs. Chenjun, Kaiwei, are you two done yet? Lin Kaiwei seemed to suddenly snap out of it. She frantically reached out to pull on my shirt hem, just like when she was little. But her action paused. Her hand was dirty. Her brother was wearing a white shirt today. Besides, I had already moved away. I was truly angry. For so long, Lin Kaiwei's performance had been too good, making me think that over the years I had more or less had some influence on her. But when I saw the thumbtacks and the oil bottle, I felt that I was still too arrogant and took things for granted. Lin Kaiwei was not a normal child. Brother, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. I wasn't planning on doing anything either. She scolded Auntie and Uncle, and she scolded you. I just wanted to teach her a lesson. Mom's footsteps started coming up the stairs. There was a hint of panic in Lin Kaiwei's voice. Brother, don't abandon me. Auntie and Uncle will be very disappointed if they find out. They'll think I'm a bad kid. As she spoke, the rims of her eyes turned red. She mentioned my mother. She mentioned my father. She mentioned me. She just didn't mention herself. Even her revenge was for our sake, not for her own. I took a deep breath. I turned my back to her. Follow me. If it doesn't hurt, hide it well. Don't get caught. Then I walked quickly downstairs. Mom, help me get my things. My stuff isn't moved yet. Huh. Why are you coming down from upstairs? Where's Kaiwei? Mom, just help me move a bit. Lin Kaiwei is probably slacking off somewhere. You think Kaiwei is you? Always slacking off. It was clearly almost winter. but Lin Kai-wei felt her back was drenched. She didn't know if it was from pain or fear. Fear that I would find out and not want her anymore. Before I went down, I glanced at her again. Lin Kai-wei felt even more guilty. Treat the wound on your hand, otherwise I might get even angrier later. Also, don't let auntie and uncle find out. After she took 2 steps down, she remembered the oil bottle in the corner. In the end, she still went over and poured the oil on the stairs. Lin Kai-wei's personality was just like that. She would always repay a grudge. I had seen the thumbtacks, so she didn't dare to place them. But the oil bottle could have been accidentally kicked over by someone else. What did that have to do with her? Consider it a bargain for those busybodies. After Lin Kai-wei treated her wound, she was brought downstairs by Dad. Then the whole family got in the car and went to the new house. Mom's mood is still very good. It's just that she found out the 2 kids seemed to be angry with each other. Lin Kai-wei occasionally glanced at me. Her expression was very pitiful. At his wife's signal, my dad spoke up. Chenjun, next week is exam week, right? After the exams, it'll be the Lunar New Year. If you do well on your exams, Dad will give you a reward. Lin Kai-wei said carefully. Chenjun will definitely do well, Uncle. He wants that basketball. I don't want it. I responded with a cold, oh. My parents glanced at each other, then looked at Lin Kai-wei, who had her eyes lowered and wasn't speaking anymore. Finally, they looked at their sulking son. I have to say, when this kid frowns, he looks quite intimidating. So what gift do you want? Last night, your mom said, you wanted to learn how to swim. Dad will take you. Actually, I know how to swim. I already knew in my past life, but I haven't learned in this life. It would be weird to suddenly know how. Only then did I bother to look at my dad. Really? Mom, seeing that, I finally responded, let out a sigh of relief and quickly added, take Kai-wei with you too. I scoffed twice. Does she need to? Is there anything she doesn't know? She even knows how to use pins to get revenge. Lin Kai-wei's big, round eyes darted back and forth a few times. I don't know. I looked at her pitiful, misty-eyed expression and felt annoyed. Mom reached out and hugged Lin Kai-wei. It's okay, Kai-wei. You two are fighting again. Lin Kai-wei hesitated for a moment. She held out her hand, which had a bandage on it. It's probably because I got hurt. Oh, you even know that? I glanced at her treated palm. She's quite sensible, I guess. She knows how to take care of it herself. If she had left it all bloody and messy, I really doubt I could have stopped myself from spanking her to find out what happened. But Lin Kai-wei didn't open her mouth. She just stared at me. I was speechless and said irritably, she was playing with a pin and accidentally hurt herself. What else could I say? Tell Mom that the child she's holding is not a weak little white flower. She's a man-eating flower. I felt very troubled. Of course, I could see that Lin Kai-wei intentionally left it for me to explain. It was a small psychological test, but I admit I still have a soft spot for her. After all, I've raised her for so many years. How could I not have a soft spot? When we got to the new house, I wanted to help clean, but my parents sent me to my room to do homework. Then I saw Lin Kai-wei holding her school bag, standing obediently at the door. Brother, can I do homework with you? I didn't say anything. I just averted my gaze. Lin Kai-wei hesitated for a moment. In the end, she tentatively stepped into my room. Seeing that I still wasn't looking at her, but also didn't kick her out, Lin Kai-wei secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Kai-wei. She pulled a chair and sat down next to me. Brother, I won't be so impulsive anymore. But they were talking badly about everyone behind their backs. I couldn't stand it. I could tell that although she was apologizing, she didn't feel much remorse. I asked her, Lin Kai-wei. My expression was still very serious. If you meet someone like Pai Meng again in the future, will you always get revenge regardless of the consequences? Lin Kai-wei was silent for a moment. If they're really like him, with a foul mouth bad-mouthing you, then I still will. Her voice was very low, filled with stubbornness. I raised her head with my hand. I stared at her and said seriously, it's right for you to fight back to protect yourself, but your first mistake today was knowing you had a pin in your hand and still letting yourself get hurt. Lin Kai-wei was stunned to hear that. Isn't the first mistake that I shouldn't have had the thought of revenge? The second thing is, it's fine for you to get revenge, but you shouldn't disregard the consequences. Pai Meng is indeed detestable, but he's not some great villain. If your pin had poked his eye out or something, would it have been worth it? In her heart, Lin Kai-wei thought it was worth it, but she didn't dare to say it. She knew her standards of judgment were different from normal people's, so she kept quiet. The third thing, you mentioned our whole family, but you didn't mention yourself. You were clearly the one who got hurt the most. Remember, no matter what, you must always put yourself first, especially when it comes to protecting yourself. Got it? Lin Kai-wei looked at my cold face, but my eyes had become gentle. I put a hand on my chest. Of course, protect me while you're at it. Don't hurt me, I added dryly. After all, I was truly innocent in my past life. Emphasizing it once shouldn't be too much, right? Lin Kai-wei suddenly smiled. She nodded. I know. I will protect you. I will never hurt you. As a condition of our exchange, Chenjun, you must belong to me forever. I looked at her and felt distressed. Before, I was a little confident that I could raise her well. After all, she had been really well behaved these past few years. But today's incident made all my confidence vanish. During dinner, I heard that Aunt Pai Meng fell down the stairs. She thought our family did it. She called and cursed us out loudly. My good-natured mother just asked one question in return. Do you have any proof? Besides, why would we do that? Are we too bored? Or did you do something behind our backs that would deserve such a reaction from us? In the end, Pai Meng hung up while still cursing. Mom rolled her eyes. What a piece of work. Truly unbelievable. But she must have offended someone. Why we're there? I secretly glared at Lin Kai-wei. Lin Kai-wei looked at me innocently, but neither of us said anything. It wasn't until evening when we went to our rooms to rest, I flicked Lin Kai-wei's forehead. If there's a next time, he'll spank you. Lin Kai-wei obediently said yes. Next time, I definitely won't let him find out. Finally, before entering my room, she heard me say, don't always be so scared, I won't abandon you. From the moment I accepted you moving in, I would never truly abandon you, even if I'm angry. That will never happen. Hearing my words, Lin Kai-wei was like a cat being petted and comforted by its owner, very satisfied. After that, she didn't cause any more trouble. I got to take swimming lessons as I wished. Originally, Lin Kai-wei wanted to go too, but before I knew it, I had sent her to learn Sanda. In my past life, when she was in 6th grade, she was almost beaten to death by Lin Ai-kun. Although Lin Ai-kun is in prison in this life, I still want Lin Kai-wei to learn how to protect herself. At least when she's bullied, she'll have the ability to fight back and escape. The elementary school days passed just like that. We both got into number 1 middle school. After that, Kai Wen-ji came to visit once. She was pregnant. She brought gifts for both of us, a phone and a tablet for each of us. A normal child would have been overjoyed, but both my and Lin Kai-wei's reactions were very calm. This made Kai Wen-ji a bit awkward. Mom probably noticed and told us to go to our rooms to study. She didn't refuse the gifts. Kai Wen-ji hadn't visited Lin Kai-wei for over 3 years. Mom felt that it was right for her to bring gifts. Thanks to diligently swimming and playing basketball, the current me has finally gotten taller and slimmed down a bit. Lin Kai-wei also started to blossom. At this rate, I have a feeling that in middle school, I still won't be taller than her. I looked at the girl beside me. She won't really be taller than me in the future, will she? What are you looking at? The person who had been doing her homework suddenly spoke. Those beautiful doe eyes also looked over. I was caught. I was a little embarrassed. Meeting her gaze, I asked, aren't you curious? What did your mother come to talk about? What else could she say? Wasn't it to tell me not to bother her? Looking at that belly, you can tell she's about to give birth. If I'm not mistaken, this time she'll probably leave a sum of money. Enough for me to study until university. And after that, she won't want to come anymore. She'll completely cut off contact with me. Lin Kai-wei's voice was very flat, as if she were talking about something unimportant. I was momentarily rendered speechless. After a moment of silence, I said dryly, you know her quite well, huh? But I couldn't say any other words of comfort. Because I believe Kai Wen-ji is indeed the kind of person who would do this. Neither of us mentioned it again. Just then, the sound of the door opening came from outside. Kai Wen-ji must have left. I immediately stood up and said seriously to Lin Kai-wei, I'll go wash some fruit for you. Lin Kai-wei watched me turn and leave, then sighed. This excuse isn't very good at all. When I stepped outside, I saw a familiar scene. There was a card on the table. Mom heard the noise and whipped around. Her expression wasn't very good. I picked up the bank card on the table. I couldn't quite contain the anger in my heart. Did she just leave the card and say not to contact her anymore? Mom looked at me in surprise. Something like that. She said not to contact her if there's nothing important. This money is for Lin Kai-wei. Middle school, high school, until university. 300,000 is not a small amount. Normally, it would be considered enough. But Mom still felt very angry. Angry at Kai Wen-ji for being so eager to cut ties with Lin Kai-wei. Mom's heart ached for Lin Kai-wei. I felt sorry for Lin Kai-wei too. She's clearly so well-behaved, so smart, and so beautiful, but they will never see these things. Just now, Kai Wen-ji didn't even give Lin Kai-wei a second glance. Mother and son were silent for a moment. Mom reached out and patted my head. Chen-jun, from now on, Lin Kai-wei only has us. I know I've been a bit strict with you these past few years, but I just want you both to grow up healthy and safe. It's best if you become more outstanding. I smiled, Mom. I know, it's okay. Don't tell Lin Kai-wei about this. Mom sighed and nodded. Neither of them noticed that my room door wasn't completely closed. Lin Kai-wei gently closed the door. She didn't find it hard to accept it all, but she wondered if tonight she took the opportunity to ask to sleep with her brother, would he soften up? Lin Kai-wei looked at my bed, her eyes filled with longing. She's just a hurt little girl. Sleeping with her brother is very reasonable, right? Not reasonable at all. I kicked her off. We're both about to start middle school. Boys and girls should keep their distance. Don't even dream about it. Even though Lin Kai-wei pitifully said she was just a little lonely. Then I scoffed and dragged her back to her room. I opened the door. The room was decorated in a very girly style. It's just that the dolls on her bed were a bit out of place. They were all superheroes and mythical characters. Doraemon, Cardcaptor Sakura. I pointed to the 7 Calabash brothers. I just bought this for you, I said while glancing at her. If you're still scared, I'll call my mom. Lin Kai-wei silently looked at the pile of dolls on her bed. Tonight is a lost cause. She let out a disappointed, "Oh, all right, I know. Good night, brother." After saying that, she even gave me a sweet smile. "It's okay. I'll wait until he's asleep and sneak over by myself. I just have to sneak back before he wakes up tomorrow morning. After all, once I'm asleep, even an earthquake wouldn't get a reaction from me. It's like falling into a coma." That night before sleeping, I felt something was off, mainly because Lin Kai-wei gave up too quickly today. It was so smooth that it felt unfamiliar. If it were before, she would have acted cute and pestered me, using all sorts of tricks. But the quality of my sleep is indeed very good. I fall into a dead sleep shortly after lying down. No one in the family knew. Past 1 in the morning, the door to my room was gently opened. After Lin Kai-wei came in, she stood by my bed and watched me for a while. Finally, she tiptoed onto the bed. As soon as she lay down, getting close to the boy, I instinctively reached out and hugged that slender body. Lin Kai-wei smiled silently. Her gentle eyes said silently in her heart, "Good night, brother." I was completely unaware of this. I just knew that something was up with this body. I sleep like the dead every time. Every day at dawn, after finishing her problem sets, Lin Kai-wei would sneak over. She'd wake up at 5 in the morning and sneak back to her own room. It's been like this for over a year. No one in the house has found out. Soon, middle school life began. Lin Kai-wei and I were still in the same class, and Kwang Moge and Shin Yu-chu were also in our class. The four of us were very happy to see familiar faces on the first day of school. Of course, Lin Kai-wei was actually only happy on the surface. She wasn't happy at all on the inside. Compared to them, she preferred me. She only had eyes for me. Besides, this meant she had no excuse to sit next to me anymore. In the end, I sat with Kwang Mo-gi. Lin Kai-wei had to sit with Shen Yu-chu. The two of them sitting together became the most beautiful sight in the class. Lin Kai-wei naturally became the class beauty, and Shen Yu-chu was considered the second prettiest. The middle school age is inherently quite sensitive, the age of budding love. The boys also liked to secretly discuss which female classmate was pretty. I never participated in these topics. I wasn't a real child myself, but I still knew that many boys liked the girl, Lin Kai-wei. Her beautiful and mature appearance, although a bit cold, wasn't completely indifferent to everyone. Anyway, every aspect of her attracted the boys. I even felt a bit gratified. I felt that these kids didn't have bad taste. At the new school, not many people knew about Lin Kai-wei's family situation anymore. People only knew that Lin Kai-wei called me brother, and that we lived together. So many people thought we were relatives. Thus, I naturally gained a lot of followers. They'd open their mouths and say, brother. Most of them wanted to build a good relationship with me, to get news about Lin Kai-wei. Regarding this, I'd punch anyone who came to me. The fair cabbage I worked so hard to raise. No one is allowed to have ideas about her. Lin Kai-wei's grades are so good. None of you should dream of having a puppy love with her. Finally, it was the 8th grade. Coincidentally, Lin Kai-wei is also a fan of muscles. It's true that if you're not from the same family, you don't enter the same door. Kai-wei, Chen-jun is playing basketball. Aren't you going to watch? Shen Yu-chu lay sprawled on her desk, staring at the girl who was doing a practice test, and asked in a low voice. When she saw her beautiful and delicate side profile, she wanted to slap herself twice. Why was I so annoying when I was little? Kai-wei is this beautiful, and I bullied her. Shen Yu-chu, you're worse than an animal. Lin Kai-wei's pen paused. He said he wasn't playing basketball. He said he was going for a walk and then coming back to do problem sets. Auntie said so. If these 3 problem sets aren't finished today, Auntie will spank Chen-jun. It's the 9th graders. A male student ran up to him and challenged him to a match. If Chen-jun lost, he had to help deliver a love letter to you. At first, Chen-jun didn't pay them any attention. He said he was busy and wouldn't play, and that he wouldn't use you as a bet. As a result, that group of people blocked Chen-jun. They wouldn't let him leave. Shen Yu-chu's tone was full of contempt. Besides, I just saw those guys. Their faces are all crooked. How could they be worthy of you? The key point that Lin Kai-wei heard was that I was being troubled because of her. The sound of a pen being put down on the desk echoed with a clack. Let's go, take a look. At this moment, Lin Kai-wei had already stood up. Shen Yu-chu, seeing her finally willing to go out, her eyes lit up. This girl loves watching a commotion the most. She immediately stood up and linked her arm with Lin Kai-wei's. Let's go, let's go. On the way there, Lin Kai-wei also conveniently bought a bottle of cold water. I'd be sweating from playing basketball. I would definitely want a drink. When they reached the basketball court, there were basically no empty courts. Among them, one court was surrounded by a particularly large crowd. Shen Yu-chu pointed in that direction. That's the place. You know, the popularity of Chen-jun and Kwang Mo-gi is pretty high. When she said this, her tone was completely that of a gossip. She was also looking curiously in that direction, so naturally, she didn't notice that Lin Kai-wei's expression had darkened. By now, she was aware that her possessiveness towards me was a bit abnormal. Normally, although she tried to act normal, she was still too young. She couldn't control her emotions well. For example, right now, she hated hearing rumors about how popular I was. She hated the sight of those boys and girls surrounding me. At this moment, my expression was a bit cold. The arm that had just been hit was a little numb. Those guys who called themselves upperclassmen were really playing dirty. Kwang Mo-ge looked worriedly at me, rubbing my shoulder. Brother Jun, are you okay? I shook my head. I'm fine. The onlookers could all see clearly. This group of people was targeting me, the endless bumping and stepping on feet. They were originally hot-blooded young men. If I hadn't stopped them, Kwang Moji would have charged forward with his guys long ago. The group opposite us was still jeering. The leader, Zhang Dahe, said even more smugly, "Still got it in you? Junior, if you can't handle it, just give up. You'll have to take this letter back." With that, he pulled a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket. The boy next to him jeered, "Next time we meet, should we call Lin Kai-wei little sister-in-law?" Hearing that, the other boys all started laughing. My expression turned cold and stern. I slammed the ball in my hand down in front of them. The force was immense, making a loud thud. Although it didn't hit anyone, it silenced their laughter. I looked at them and smiled. "Let's continue. You're only up by 3 points. Getting cocky already? Don't forget, there's still half a game left." When Lin Kai-wei and Shen Yuchu got closer, the second half had just begun. Zhang Dahe led his guys to charge at me like before. This time I was prepared, so I didn't dodge. Right as the opponent charged, I drove my elbow hard into his side. Zhang Dahe cried out in pain. "Damn it!" I held the ball in my hand. I turned my head and smiled at him. "Senior, my apologies." I took a few steps forward and shot a perfect three-pointer. "You're playing dirty, you punk." Zhang Da. He was clearly furious. I moved a little. Who was it that made my shoulder go numb from that hit? Can't handle it? Are you guys the only ones allowed to foul? I lifted my chin, my gaze towards Zhang Da. He was a bit cold. If you can play, then follow the rules and play properly. If you can't play, then don't play. D. Quite arrogant, aren't you? You think just because people call you Brother Jun, you're actually a big boss? Kwang Mogi scoffed upon hearing that. He is our big boss. So what? The other boys in the class also chimed in. That's Brother Tuan. He's our boss. So what? I looked at Zhang Dahe, his face ugly, and said in a loud voice, "You guys were the ones who started it just now. You're the ones who can't handle losing, so let's just drop it. Well, respect our elders and not stoop to your level." After speaking, I glanced at Kwang Moka's group, signaling them to leave. Damn it, apologize to me right now. Zhang Dahe's group was used to bullying others. Naturally, they weren't going to back down so easily now. He reached out, trying to grab me. Just then, a basketball suddenly flew in from the side. It was very fast and its trajectory was quite tricky. It directly hit Zhang Dahe's shoulder, accompanied by a "damn it." Zhang Dahe clutched his shoulder and took a step back. Both groups of people were stunned. They looked in the direction the ball came from, only to see an extremely beautiful girl, holding a bottle of water, leisurely walking over. She walked to my side with a cold expression. The gazes of almost all the boys on the court were fixed on her. But Lin Kai-wei didn't seem to notice at all. She just handed me the iced water bottle in her hand. Seeing me sweating, she frowned slightly. She took out a tissue and gave it to me. I took it naturally. "Why are you here?" Actually, I had just seen Shen Yusuo. I probably knew why she came. I have to say, that friend Shen Yusuo is really a busybody. Lin Kai-wei's cold expression softened. She spoke to me gently. "I came to see why you haven't come back to do your homework yet." The boys in my class had gotten used to it long ago. After all, in Lin Kai-wei's eyes, boys are probably divided into two types, her older brother and other boys. But Zhang Dahe's group across from us obviously didn't know. Especially Zhang Dahe, whose face was originally full of anger. But when he saw Lin Kai-wei, he blushed a little. Hearing her sweet voice, his eyes lit up even more. He already thought she was pretty before. Seeing her up close, she was even more beautiful. It's just that the gentle look she gave when looking at me was a bit of an eyesore. Zhang Dahe cleared his throat lightly. Putting on an air, he spoke up. "Lin Kai-wei, you threw the ball just now, didn't you? Aren't you going to apologize to me?" After speaking, he even stepped a little closer. "How about you go to the movies with me? And, well, call this even. Otherwise," he paused deliberately and snorted. Standing beside him, I was speechless. This guy is so greasy. I raised the iced water bottle that Lin Kai-wei had just given me towards Zhang Dahe's face. His big face was about to get closer, so I said sincerely, "Bro, did you have garlic and chive dumplings for dinner? This smell, it's even stuck on your teeth." Kwang Mo-ka and the others couldn't hold it in when they heard that. They burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. Zhang Dahe's eyes were filled with astonishment. The crew-cut guy next to him quickly leaned over to look. Even Lin Kai-wei covered her nose and mouth and let out a small smile. Without giving Zhang Dahe a single glance, she just tugged on my shirt. "Let's go home. If you don't do your homework, you'll get scolded again tonight." Hearing the laughter from everyone around, Zhang Dahe felt like they were all laughing at him. He immediately became angry from embarrassment, completely forgetting the blush from just a moment ago. So his face darkened and he reached out to pull Lin Kai-wei. "You hit me and now you want to leave? There's no such easy way out." Kwang Moka saw how shameless Zhang Dahe was, reaching for Lin Kai-wei and was about to curse him out. Only I was very calm. "Are you kidding me? Lin Kai-wei has been practicing Sanda for 3 years. Sure enough, the girl pulled out a pen from somewhere and smacked it right onto Zhang Dahe's outstretched hand. With a thwack, she hit him so hard he yelped. At that moment, Shen Yusuo arrived with the Dean of Education. Miss, they're the ones blocking my classmates from leaving. The school's Dean of Education had the surname Chu. She was a teacher in her 40s. Her appearance was the type that screamed strict at a single glance. Moreover, she particularly liked to catch students in puppy love. At this moment, her face darkened. She yelled at the gossiping students around. All of you, go back to class. Class is about to start. The other onlookers whispered among themselves and turned to leave. They wouldn't dare provoke Mrs. Chu. She was ferocious. When Zhang Dahe saw Dean Chu, his face flushed slightly. Shen Yusuo took the opportunity to tattle. Miss, just now Zhang Dahe even tried to grab Lin Kaiwei from our class. You saw it too. Lin Kaiwei's grades are excellent. Ever since she enrolled, she has ranked first in the grade in every exam. Plus, she's beautiful, but she keeps her distance from all the boys except for me. The two of us are also the children of teachers. Dean Chu's impression of her has always been very good. In contrast, Zhang Dahe's grades are poor. He was even in a relationship with a girl from another school before. The scales in Dean Chu's heart were already tipped. Zhang Dahe. Are you bullying your classmates again? Zhang Dahe looked unconvinced. Miss, why do you say I started it as soon as you arrived? Didn't you see Lin Kaiwei hit me just now? I only saw you reaching for the girl, so what if she hit you? You're not convinced? Then come to my office to talk. Dean Chu's voice was a bit cold. She also took the time to say to us, you all go back to class first. In front of Dean Chu, we were very obedient, saying yes, mom, and turned to leave immediately. On the way back, the boys were quite cheerful. They even praised Shen Yusuo for her quick reaction. Shen Yusuo linked arms with Lin Kaiwei. Actually, it was Lin Kaiwei who told me to go find the teacher. I nodded in approval. You knew to get a teacher. That's progress. I took the pen from Lin Kaiwei's hand. As we passed a trash can, I casually threw it in. My tone was a bit casual. Who knows, it might have the smell of chives and garlic on it. As for the bottle of water in my hand, I didn't throw it away. After all, it was a gift from Lin Kaiwei. But Lin Kaiwei took it from me, and also threw it in the trash can. It's dirty. I'll buy you a new one. Then she really did trot off to the supermarket. The boys behind us muttered enviously. Brother Tuan, why is your sister so good? Previously, the boys in class had seen the way Lin Kaiwei was towards me. They all thought she was a gentle and cute girl. Quite a few boys had ideas, and found all sorts of reasons to strike up a conversation with Lin Kaiwei. The result was a blunt rejection. It felt like hitting an iceberg in the middle of summer. A chill down the spine, a fluttering heart. Although they were used to it now, sometimes they still couldn't help but feel a little jealous. At that moment, Lin Kaiwei ran back with the water. She even handed the water bottle to me. I took it, twisted off the cap, and handed it to her. You drink. Why are you running so fast? The boys next to us saw this and pretended to cry. Little sister, why didn't you bring one for us? Yeah, we're classmates after all. I laughed and scolded them. Who are you calling little sister? Then I gave each of them a kick. The boys joked around as they walked forward. Shen Yusuo linked arms with Lin Kaiwei again. Every day, she just wanted to stick to the pretty little sister. Lin Kaiwei dodged her friend's hand with some disdain. You touched the water bottle that Tran Tuan opened for me. You don't need to emphasize that I opened it for you. It's obvious enough. You really are obsessed with your brother, Shen Yusuo exclaimed. Lin Kaiwei's gaze was always on me. It never left. Hearing her friend's exclamation, she just hummed in response. She didn't deny it. It wasn't that she wasn't obsessed with her brother, but rather obsessed with Tran Tuan. I was originally holding Kwang Mo Ka down and hitting him. Suddenly, I sensed something. I turned my head to look back. Sure enough, Lin Kaiwei was looking intently at me. What are you looking at? Come here quickly. Class is about to start. As soon as I finished speaking, the class bell rang. The fooling boys yelped and rushed forward. Next is math class. Run, it's Miss N's class. I ran a few steps after them, then turned my head back. Lin Kaiwei, hurry up. Miss N is going to scold me later. Miss N is my mother. Although she wasn't our homeroom teacher, she was our subject teacher. I still got scolded every day, but it was indeed thanks to being scolded and being tutored by Lin Kaiwei. That math, my weakest subject in my past life, was considered decent in this life. At least I wasn't barely scraping by at the bottom of the class. I've already thought it all through. Get into Nomba 1 High School with Lin Kaiwei. Then I can take the opportunity to tell my family that I want to study art. I really like my job in my previous life. I don't plan on giving it up in this life either. Moreover, I thought of Lin Kaiwei, who almost never wore shorts. I also remembered the overlapping scars on her body in my previous life. Such a beautiful face, but her body was covered in hideous scars, if she agrees. I want to help her cover up those scars. Besides, the scars on Lin Kaiwei's body in this life aren't that many. I can buy her some scar removal cream. What girl doesn't love beauty? I feel like I have some bad luck. I shouldn't have thought about the scars on Lin Kaiwei's body. That afternoon, I couldn't help but think of Lin Ai-kun. Then, just 2 days later, I actually saw the person who should have been in prison. He was clearly sentenced to 7 years at first. It's only been a little over 5 years now. How is he out of prison already? Lin Ai-kun seemed to sense something. He glanced in my direction. I instinctively turned away. Although I don't know what Lin Ai-kun is here for, I just knew I couldn't let him discover me. The final exams are in a few days. Lin Kai-wei and I are about to enter the 9th grade, and now Lin Ai-kun is out of prison. What will Lin Kai-wei do? How does he know this place? Is he here to find Lin Kai-wei? The moment this thought appeared, a chill ran through my heart. I only dared to turn my head back after a while. Lin Ai-kun was no longer there. Lin Kai-wei is only 13 now. Her household registration is still with Lin Ai-kun's. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but frown. When I got home, I went straight to the kitchen to find Mom, and even closed the door. My behavior made Mom a little nervous. "What's wrong, son?" I lowered my voice. I just saw Lin Ai-kun outside. When Mom heard that, her expression changed. "Are you sure? I wasn't mistaken. He was standing right at the gate of our complex." My voice couldn't help but sound a little annoyed. "Mom, ask the aunties in the old neighborhood." Mom had already taken out her phone. She quickly got a reply. She looked at me, her voice trembling slightly. "He behaved well. So he got out of prison early." That's not the main point. The main point is that Lin Ai-kun has actually been back for a few days. At first, he really didn't have any intention of finding Lin Kai-wei. In his eyes, whether the girl was dead or had run away with someone didn't matter. But on the day he went down to buy alcohol, he heard Aunt Pai Meng and the others talking. They mentioned Lin Kai-wei. These people are really idle. They started saying again that our family got a great deal, talking about how much money Kai Wenji gives us a year. The last message that Auntie sent to Lin Kai-wei was, "I saw him looking for Pai Meng this morning. Everyone should be careful. Pai Meng's mouth is not tight." Now I guess I know how Lin Ai-kun found his way here. Mom sighed, obviously very worried too. "About this matter, Mom, don't worry yet." I interrupted her in a serious tone. "A person like Lin Ai-kun, you should know better than I do. If he can catch us in this neighborhood, the next place he might go is the school. He once barged into the classroom in elementary school, grabbed Lin Kai-wei by the hair and dragged her out while hitting her. It was also that time that Lin Kai-wei started to be isolated by everyone. I can't let that happen now." My voice was very serious. "I also don't want him to meet Lin Kai-wei. So what do we do now?" Mom didn't say she didn't care. "I just haven't figured out how to find Kai Wenji." Her voice was very soft. "Kai Wenji hasn't come since the last time she brought money. She's got it easy." At first, she didn't even want to transfer Lin Kai-wei's household registration. Mom hesitated for a moment and asked, "What can Kai Wenji do? She doesn't even care how Lin Kai-wei is living. Will she really care about Lin Ai-kun's business?" The corner of my mouth lifted into a smile, a cold one that didn't match my current age. Just ask her if she thinks that after Lin Ai-kun knows we don't have money, who will he look for next? She's more afraid of Lin Ai-kun than we are. Mom stared blankly at the familiar son before her, but his aura was completely different. I realized something was wrong. My thoughts immediately spun a few times. Right after, I gave a coup de smile. "Mom, do you think what I just said is feasible? That's how they write it in the novels I read." Sure enough, Mom frowned when she heard that. "Tron Tuan, watch me beat you," I yelped, and turned to run. But at that time, I didn't expect Kai Wenji to be such a fool. I don't know what my parents said to Kai Wenji. Anyway, after that, I didn't see Lin Ai-kun loitering at the community gate anymore. Naturally, he didn't come to school either. I even suspected that I had seen wrongly. Gradually, I felt more at ease. Mom also said that Kai Wenji had promised to handle this matter well. So now I was distracted by another matter. It's like this. When boys reach a certain age, they go through puberty. They will have normal physiological phenomena. For example, wet dreams. That night, I kept feeling like someone was lying next to me. To be honest, this thought was already very scary. When I woke up the next morning, I thought I had been dreaming. I thought about it while washing my pants. What kind of dream was that? It's a little messed up, because I felt that the person lying next to me was a bit like Lin Kai-wei. This is truly beastly. At that time, I could never have imagined that it wasn't a dream. It was really her lying next to me. So during that time, I was a bit awkward when facing Lin Kai-wei. And because of my attitude, the atmosphere around Lin Kai-wei was very gloomy. "Brother Tuan, have you been fighting with your sister lately?" Kwang Mocha asked curiously. I was drinking water. When I heard that, I coughed a few times and almost choked. "No, we're not fighting. How can you be so sure? You haven't been taking her with you lately, and you don't let her follow you," Kwang Mocha said casually. "Love you." Looking at my sister's eyes, I feel pity. She looks as pitiful as an abandoned kitten. Another boy also spoke up. "It's not just us who think so. The girls in class have been asking too." I looked speechless. "Go tell Miss Anne. They probably have too little homework. That's enough. What fight could there be? Besides, is Lin Kai-wei really that pitiful?" I felt a little guilty. After school in the evening, the two of us went home together. Lin Kai-wei followed behind me without a word. The bus was quite crowded tonight, a little more packed than usual. The two of us couldn't avoid leaning against each other. Our bodies would touch. Then Lin Kai-wei clearly felt that I seemed to want to avoid her a little. This made her think of what Shen Yusuo had said at lunch. "If Trontuan gets a girlfriend in the future, Kai-wei, you'll be very sad. So look outside. Look at other people. I have a girlfriend, so I have to keep my distance from her." Thinking of this, perhaps the anger and desire for control in Lin Kai-wei's heart were rising. She lowered her head. Her eyes even carried a hint of madness. "Someone confessed to me back in elementary school. She should know that there are always people who want to snatch me away from her side, but they can't. I belong to her. I looked at her lowered head, her swaying figure, and sighed. I placed her hand on my own, which was holding onto the handrail. I placed her hand on my wrist. Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment. She instinctively gripped my hand tightly. Her grip on my wrist was very strong, causing me to frown. But Lin Kai-wei kept her head down. I was a little worried. What's wrong with you? Why do you keep your head down? Are you not feeling well? Lin Kai-wei just shook her head slightly and said softly, I'm fine. She was afraid that if she looked up, I would see the madness in her eyes. She was afraid I would be scared as she grew older. Lin Kai-wei became more and more aware that she was not like other girls. She wasn't like them. She didn't have interest in certain things. They would like a certain music group, a certain idol, like to watch movies, listen to music, discuss many things. But Lin Kai-wei felt that those things weren't even as interesting as spacing out while looking at me. She was insanely jealous of everyone by my side, even now. She felt that the closeness between my mother and me was also glaring. But Lin Kai-wei hid her feelings, trying to be a normal person. That way, I would be willing to be her brother. I found Lin Kai-wei a little strange, although today she finally, like before, held my hand as we walked home. But tonight she was especially quiet. This made me feel a little guilty. Has my recent distance been too obvious? Lin Kai-wei was already sensitive to begin with. I looked at her closed bedroom door and clicked my tongue in frustration. I can't believe I'm already this old, and I'm still having puberty problems. Perhaps because I was troubled, my usually good sleep was elusive that night. That night I tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. My mind was filled with Lin Kai-wei, not daring to get close to me, the way she lowered her head, not daring to look at me. I felt a little disheartened. I cursed myself a few times in my heart. Trantuan, you deserve to die. You're the guilty one, yet you're making the girl sad, not daring to get close. I thought I'd apologize tomorrow. It wasn't until almost 2:30 a.m. that I groggily fell asleep, but my sleep wasn't deep. So when I heard a sound at the door, I woke up immediately. My first reaction was that my mom or dad came to check on me, but as the footsteps approached, I clearly felt that something was wrong. I'm familiar with the footsteps of everyone in the house, especially my parents. To get beaten less at first, I became very professional at it. The footsteps coming to my bedside now were very light. Moreover, the steps weren't fast. They belonged to Lin Kai-wei. In the middle of the night, she's not sleeping. What is she doing standing by my bed? I could hear my heart beating faster. I was really nervous. So nervous I didn't dare to open my eyes. Luckily, I didn't open my eyes. Because right now, Lin Kai-wei had a cold expression on her face. She was holding 2 neckties in her hand. Her gaze swept over my exposed wrist. I really want to tie you up. That way I can lock him in the room. Just when I couldn't take it anymore and was about to open my eyes, I suddenly felt the person standing by the bed seem to move. No way. Why is she climbing into my bed now? I was cursing inwardly, thinking of the figure I thought was a dream. Could it be that it wasn't a dream at all? Was she really lying on my bed? At this moment, I could feel it. Lin Kai-wei skillfully lay down beside me. The two of us were very close to each other. Just a moment later, Lin Kai-wei suddenly sat up. Then I felt it. My wrist and another slender wrist were tied together by something. Looking at their 2 wrists tied together, Lin Kai-wei was very satisfied. She didn't dare to tie it too tightly, afraid I would find out tomorrow. Then she held my hand and lay down again. She whispered, "Brother, good night. We'll be together forever." She held my hand quite forcefully, as if she was afraid someone would snatch me away. Lying beside her, this series of actions from her made me completely wide awake. Does anyone understand, folks? When she tied me up, I felt like I was dreaming of my past life. My whole body even went stiff. I didn't dare to move anymore. My heart was beating very fast. My mind was extremely clear. In the darkness, I slowly opened my eyes. I could feel the steady breathing of the person next to me, but I still didn't dare to turn my head. If I turned to face those big eyes of Lin Kai-wei's, I might have really died on the spot, so I just lay there with a stiff body, staring at the dark ceiling, thinking about the series of actions just now, of Lin Kai-wei entering the room and climbing into bed. I couldn't help but feel it was too practiced. You could tell it wasn't the first time she'd done it, so how many times has she climbed in? Finally, after my hand was loosened a little, I slowly turned my head to look at the person beside me. What met my eyes was a sleeping face as beautiful as an angel's, although I could only see a blurry outline in the darkness. I was too familiar with Lin Kai-wei. My mind automatically filled in the image. The initial feeling of fear seemed to suddenly be soothed. I sighed silently. The Lin Kai-wei from just now really made me feel scared. When I died in my past life, although there was no actual pain, that fear will always stay with me. Now Lin Kai-wei had tied me up again, even though it wasn't like my past life. If my parents saw this scene, it would be a huge problem. Lin Kai-wei would very likely be kicked out. Now Lin Ai-kun is also out of prison. I can't let Lin Kai-wei be kicked out either. That night, I, who was usually a deep sleeper, stayed awake all night and found out. Lin Kai-wei woke up before dawn, carefully separating our hands. She even whispered something. "Chen-jun, good morning." Then she gently tiptoed out the whole night. She didn't do anything, just slept soundly beside me. After she left the room, I opened my eyes. My eyes were bloodshot. I couldn't help but let out a sigh. What should I do? Is Lin Kai-wei the same as in my past life? Actually, I don't know what the real Lin Kai-wei from my past life was like. After all, I was tied up on the day of the blind date. The next few days, we were both in bed. Actually, I did wake up in the middle of it and saw Lin Kai-wei sitting by the bed, holding a fruit knife to my wrist. Her expression was cold and filled with disgust. The object of her disgust seemed to be herself. I was really terrified at that moment, mainly because I was afraid that knife would be used on me. But in the end, the knife was still used on Lin Kai-wei. I whispered, "Something's wrong." Where did it go wrong? Why does the Lin Kai-wei of this life have such an abnormal possessiveness towards me? After being reborn, I looked it up. Lin Kai-wei's abnormal reaction back then is a bit like what they call a Yandere online. Later, I reflected on it myself. I feel that Lin Kai-wei becoming like this is probably largely due to her family. But in this life, Lin Kai-wei grew up in my house. My family environment is really healthy and positive. Where on earth did it go wrong? Could it be her genes? But Lin Kai-wei and Lin Ai-kun are completely different. It wasn't until Mom's voice came from outside, calling me to wake up, and the sound of Lin Kai-wei knocking on the door, that I slowly came out. Lin Kai-wei acted very normal, so I couldn't see anything unusual at all. If I wasn't so sure I had stayed awake all last night, I would have almost thought I was dreaming again. Thinking about dreaming. This makes me a bit uncomfortable. If it wasn't a dream, if she climbs into my bed every day, then some of my previous reactions. Does she know all about them? I can't think too deeply about this. In the morning, Mom drove us to school. Mom glanced over. I'd been dozing off all morning. At me and asked, "Chen-jun, what were you doing last night?" I said listlessly. "I didn't do anything, just sleeping." When I spoke, my eyes were closed tight. Lin Kai-wei next to me couldn't help but look at me a few more times. She reached out her hand worriedly, wanting to touch my forehead. It was actually a very natural gesture to check for a fever, but I suddenly opened my eyes and flinched away. Lin Kai-wei was stunned, looking at her hand that missed me, her eyes filled with confusion and helplessness, and a deep glint in the bottom of her eyes. After dodging, I immediately regretted it, watching Lin Kai-wei withdraw her hand with a disappointed expression. I said unnaturally, "I'm fine, just a little drained. I probably didn't sleep well last night." After saying that, I was at a loss for words myself. It's true I didn't sleep well. My brain isn't working either. Last night, Lin Kai-wei was lying right next to me. How could she not know if I slept well or not? Actually, you can't really blame me. It's mainly because I spent the whole night thinking that with Lin Kai-wei's current state, she would tie me up again, and then kill me again. She already tied me up last night. I'm really afraid of dying one more time. This feeling is like I worked hard to level up an account, only for it to end up being a useless account. And I don't even know if I can start over. It's even scarier. Until we got out of the car, Lin Kai-wei didn't say another word. The two of us entered the classroom, one after the other. Kwang Mo-jae leaned over and asked in a low voice, "What's wrong, Brother Jun? Did your conflict deepen?" I glanced at Lin Kai-wei, who was sitting down with a cold expression. "What do you think of Lin Kai-wei?" Kwang Mo-jae was stunned for a moment, seemingly finding it strange. He glanced at my obviously troubled expression. Me, then mumbled, "You're the one who asked me to say it? I think she's very scary." His voice was very quiet, and he subconsciously glanced towards Lin Kai-wei. Just then, Lin Kai-wei turned her head to look at them. Kwang Mo-jae felt a cold sweat break out, but Lin Kai-wei didn't have time to pay him any mind. She looked at me. I didn't seem okay. She planned to ask me clearly today. Why? I continued to ask. That time when we were kids and I pushed her. I even felt that if the circumstances hadn't prevented it, she would have killed me. Kwang Mo-jae's voice was very serious. Although I was young back then, I still remember the look in her eyes to this day. Moreover, for a long time after that, I had a feeling I was being followed. I think it was Lin Kai-wei, even though I have no proof. But a man's intuition, you get it, right? I was speechless. You're just a kid at most right now, and you're talking about a man's intuition. But what Kwang Mo-jae said, I still took it to heart. It also made me clearly remember once again that the Lin Kai-wei back then was actually not like other children. It's just that she learned to hide it later on. I clenched the book in my hand. Damn it, doing it all over again. I seem to have blocked my own path to survival again. Can a Lin Kai-wei like this still be raised? Actually, I know I have no choice. From the day I met her in the stairwell and tacitly agreed to let Mom bring her home, there was no choice but to raise her, having raised her to be this big. Can I really just abandon her? Besides, the me of now can't bear to do it either. Normally at noon, I would usually eat with Lin Kai-wei, but these past few days, because of the misunderstanding about the dream before, I've been avoiding Lin Kai-wei a little. So the two of us haven't eaten together for a few days. Lin Kai-wei originally thought that with my attitude this morning, I probably wouldn't eat with her today either. But after school, she heard that familiar voice. Lin Kai-wei, let's go eat. Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment. She turned her head and saw me and Kwang Mo-jae standing together. Kwang Mo-jae rolled his eyes in disdain beside me. He really thinks I've got a problem. This morning I asked him what he thought of Lin Kai-wei. He even thought I had also discovered something. But now, look at this. I'm asking her to eat with me again. I must have been having an episode this morning, but Lin Kai-wei's mood had clearly improved. Shen Yuchu asked, "What are we eating? Let me come too." In the end, the four of them went to eat spicy hot pot. Lin Kai-wei felt that I looked no different than before. Could it be that I really didn't sleep well this morning? Then what about the past few days? Or is it that you only behave after being tied up? If I knew what she was thinking, I would definitely want to hit her. The topic. Among them was actually the high school entrance exam. Lin Kai-wei was the school's high-hope candidate for valedictorian, so there was no suspense. Shin Yu-chu was a little worried. If I don't get into our high school, my parents will beat me to death. Which school are you guys applying to? Are you also going straight up? Of course, my parents already said, if I can't get in, they'll send me to martial arts school. Kwang Moga's family runs a martial arts dojo. Yes, a dojo. I was so shocked when I found out back then. A family like that, and he was still scared to tears by Lin Kai-wei back then. This shouldn't be happening. Finally, Shin Yu-chu looked at me, then looked away again. Never mind. Chen-jun, you're definitely wherever Lin Kai-wei is. You'll be there. Hearing that, I was a bit speechless. It's not that absolute, is it? After eating, I took Lin Kai-wei to buy some snacks. The two of them walked one after the other on the school path. Of course, my mood wasn't as calm as it appeared on the outside, but I knew I couldn't panic. I said directly, in high school, I want to live in the dorms. Lin Kai-wei, who was originally in a good mood, but after hearing this sentence, her hand resting by her side, clenched slightly. Why? Are you secretly dating someone? I was walking in front, and let out a damn it. I stopped in my tracks. No, who's been telling you this nonsense? You should know what our main task is right now, Lin Kai-wei answered instinctively. Study. High school entrance exam. College entrance exam. Get into a good university, and find a bright future. I was the one who made her memorize that. She took it all to heart very seriously. I nodded in satisfaction. I felt like an old father wary of blonde-haired punks. Don't listen to that nonsense they say. Dating isn't as good as doing homework. Normally when I say this, Lin Kai-wei would usually obediently agree. But today, for some reason, she asked another question. How do you know? Have you been in love before? After saying that, she stared at me intently, waiting for my answer. This question was really abrupt. A two-lifetime single man who has never been in love expresses that he has been hurt. I don't know if those few wild days with her count. I reached out and lightly tapped her on the head. What's so good about dating? Isn't it just giving you gifts? Taking you to and from school? I can do all of these things with you. Do you really want that? I looked at her stubborn gaze, feeling a bit helpless. My feelings were also a bit complicated. You study hard and in the future, you'll have everything you want. But before I could finish my words of encouragement, Lin Kai-wei spoke up. Dating isn't just about that. They say there's also kissing and hugging. Which damn blonde-haired punk taught her this? Lin Kai-wei didn't know that my mind was full of her future. Right now, she just wanted to know if I was secretly dating someone. Are you dating someone? Who would I be dating? What are you thinking about all day? Every day, the only girl I interact with other than you is Shen Yu-chu. Do we look like we have something going on? Lin Kai-wei frowned and thought about it. Doesn't seem like it. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. It's good that you're not. Otherwise, she would want to do something. I was a bit helpless. I'm here every day telling you these things to prevent you from being deceived by some blonde-haired or white-haired punk. And you're here suspecting me of dating. I'm in love with studying. That last sentence, even I felt guilty saying it. I turned and walked into the supermarket. Lin Kai-wei followed beside me and continued to ask, then why do you want to live in the dorms? Because I found out you climb into my bed. I didn't dare to say that. Because I want to experience group living. What about me? I don't want to live a group life. Lin Kai-wei said a bit childishly. If you live in the dorms, you'll have to go home alone from now on. In high school, evening self-study sessions end even later. It seems I had forgotten about this. Thinking of that, I felt a little troubled. I sighed silently. Never mind, I was just talking nonsense. Let me reconsider. It's just that as we were leaving the supermarket, Lin Kai-wei asked in a low voice, dating a boyfriend. The things that boys would do. Will you do them for me too? I didn't think much of it, of course, so don't pay any attention to them. Hearing that, Lin Kai-wei thought to herself, then if he kisses and hugs me, it seems acceptable. After all, I'm not some other person. I had no idea her mind worked in such a strange way. It's just that at night when I went to bed at home, I locked my door from the inside for the first time, to see if Lin Kai-wei really came every night. I tried not to fall asleep early, and sure enough, at 1 in the morning, I heard it. The sound of footsteps stopping outside my room. I could feel the doorknob being turned gently a few times. Then the person outside probably realized the door was locked from the inside. After that, there was no movement. But she didn't seem to be leaving either. She just stood there for about 10 minutes. Then the sound of footsteps gradually fading away came from outside the door. Only then did I realize my back was soaked in sweat. I had even forgotten to breathe. A bit embarrassing to be scared like this by a little girl, a teenage girl. But I think after tonight, Lin Kai-wei probably won't come anymore. Waking up the next day, I carefully observed Lin Kai-wei. She looked the same as always. as if the person who couldn't get in last night wasn't her. Instead, the person who woke me up in the morning was my dad. At breakfast, he asked a question. Chenjun is all grown up, locking his door at night now. After saying that, he even raised his eyebrows at his son, with an I get it expression. Take care of your health. Rest early. Hearing that, I was speechless. I feel like Dad has misunderstood something. Lin Kaiwei was stunned for a moment. She glanced at me. So he locked the door last night because of this? Actually, she had already taken sex education. It seems pretty normal. Her expression was a bit unnatural as she averted her gaze. She usually noticed in the mornings too. No way, Lin Kaiwei. Have you misunderstood something too? But how do I explain this? It was Mom who slapped Dad. What nonsense are you talking about? The kids are here, Dad laughed. Ha ha ha. It's fine. Let's eat breakfast. I wanted to explain, but I felt this reason was reasonable and effective. In the end, I chose to remain silent. At first, Lin Kaiwei was quite accepting of this reason, but after failing to get into my room for 3 or 4 consecutive nights, she got a little anxious. Right now, she was in my room, looking at the harms of excessive masturbation in teenagers on the computer. She was a bit annoyed and also a little worried. Below it was also how to deal with teenagers. Finally, she frowned and finished reading it seriously. Then she took a deep breath, hesitated for a moment, still stood up, walked to my door, and knocked gently. Brother, it's me. I had just finished a test paper and was playing Candy Crush. Hearing her voice, I lazily said, Come in. When Lin Kaiwei came in, the Candy Crush game in my hand just happened to be stuck. Without even looking up, What's up? Aunt Anne said. To leave dinner for us to handle ourselves. Are we eating out tonight or eating at home? Lin Kaiwei was a bit shy and hesitant. Finally, she still walked in. Let's eat at home. I'll cook later. I said, Mum, staring at my phone for a while, a bit frustrated. My eyes were blurry and I couldn't see it. A slender, fair finger suddenly reached out from the side and swiped across my game screen. These ones. Level 225 is cleared. I tutted and turned my head, only to find Lin Kaiwei standing very close. My nose almost touched her face. I said, Damn it, and put my hand on her face, pushing her back, the force not even considered gentle. Standing so close, Lin Kaiwei was pushed away, a little unhappy, but still pulled a chair over and sat down. I helped you pass the level. Let's talk. After saying that, she even smiled at me, a sweet kind of smile. I raised an eyebrow at her. What? You need my help with something? Although Lin Kaiwei rarely asked me for help, every time she did, she was very well behaved, just like now. Lin Kaiwei shook her head again. I don't have a problem. It's that I feel you can't be like this, Chenjun. Her voice was quite heavy. What the hell? No way. Although it seems inappropriate to say this now, a man can't be told he can't. I looked at the tense-faced Lin Kaiwei in front of me. Wait a minute. You know what you're saying? Lin Kaiwei thought to herself. I've been watching all afternoon. Of course, I know. So she nodded. Remember, the standard answer is to understand them from their perspective. Lin Kaiwei couldn't really understand that. It really is like that. But she still took a deep breath. Chenjun, I feel there needs to be a limit to this. Didn't we learn about this in school before? At our age, it's normal to be curious and want to try things? That's not right, never mind. I don't. I just want to say. But too much will harm your body. Wait. What is Lin Kaiwei talking about? I raised my hand to interrupt her. That's stuttering advice. Do you know what you're saying? Lin Kaiwei, of course I know. Don't interrupt me again. Oh, right. The next step is to say what reasonable advice she can give me. But she hadn't finished her words yet, because I had stuffed a lollipop into her mouth. You're trying to guide a teenager? The teenager to be guided is me. What a coincidence. Ever since Lin Kaiwei mentioned puppy love to me, I also looked it up. How to properly guide a teenager. I've also memorized the standard answer, but I didn't expect it wouldn't work on Lin Kaiwei. And instead, Lin Kaiwei used it on me. I was a bit speechless. I stared into her big, surprised eyes and asked, Go on. What do you want to guide me on? Lin Kaiwei. Didn't expect that I had seen it too. This is a bit embarrassing, but since I've already started, I can't not say it. She was a little shy. Saving is saving. You shouldn't always do that thing by yourself. So some misunderstandings need to be cleared up promptly. But at this moment, I stared at Lin Kaiwei and said, How do you know I always lock the door? Lin Kaiwei was stunned for a moment, but her mind worked very quickly. I found out when I woke you up in the morning. She looked at me. Her eyes actually held innocence and doubt. Is doing that really not fun? But you really shouldn't do it often. Shut up. It's rare for me to feel this embarrassed. I was also a bit speechless. I reached out and took her hand and put the candy back into her mouth. Eat your candy. You're just a little girl. Is it appropriate for you to talk to me about this? Lin Kaiwei mumbled, a bit unconvinced. You dare to do it. So why can't I talk about it? Listen to this nonsense. In the end, I chased Lin Kaiwei out and told her not to come in. Lin Kaiwei stood at the door, looking a little pitiful. So are you still locking the door tonight? I rolled my eyes. Yes, I'll lock it from now on. We're grown up, we need to have our own space. Got it? Besides, I'm not in there doing it every day. I hesitated for a moment. Why am I even explaining this to her? Go do your homework. Lin Kai-wei looked at me, pursed her lips, and replied with a sound. It's fine. Because she just found the key to my room, but she doesn't dare to stay overnight anymore. Then coming to hold his hand for a while every day is also fine. After convincing myself, Lin Kai-wei's mood improved again. Dinner was cooked by Lin Kai-wei. I have to admit, her cooking skills are getting better and better. The noodles she makes are especially delicious. I'm very satisfied on this point. The days passed peacefully, the daily life of a student. In 9th grade is non-stop practice tests. We were getting closer to the high school entrance exam. The weather was also getting hotter. During the break, Kwang Moji asked, 2 more weeks until the high school entrance exam. Let's go hang out after the exam. Let's go together. I'm fine with whatever. Later. I'll ask Lin Kai-wei if she wants to go. For some reason, Kwang Mo-ge had a thought flash through his mind. Will Brother Jun be a henpecked husband in the future? Then he was startled. No way. Who's the wife? Lin Kai-wei? I had originally planned it all out very well. I even made plans with Kwang Mo-gi and the others. I also told my parents at home that we would go hang out together after just when I thought the days were peaceful. But with something to look forward to. Lin I-kun suddenly appeared and blocked Lin Kai-wei's path. Seeing this uninvited guest again, my mind went blank, almost without thinking. I reached out and pulled Lin Kai-wei behind me, the moment she saw Lin I-kun. The string in Lin Kai-wei's mind instantly tensed up. Lin I-kun looked much better than when he first got out of prison, but the feeling he gave off was still very gloomy. Before, someone said this cheap daughter of mine is a child bride your parents are raising for you. I thought it was impossible. Now it seems very likely. My expression wasn't good. What are you doing here? This kid from the Chen family speaks well. Of course, I'm here to visit my daughter, who refuses to come home. After saying that, Lin I-kun smiled, which I found very disgusting. Lin Kai-wei, long time no see. You? Don't you even know how to call me dad? Are you mute? I frowned, feeling my hand being tightly gripped by Lin Kai-wei. Normally, she would pull my shirt or hold my hand, but after we grew up, I didn't allow it. But this time I didn't shake her hand off. I even held her trembling hand tightly. What are you looking for her for? You've seen her, you can go now. My voice was a little annoyed. No one can not be annoyed when facing a scumbag like Lin I-kun. Lin I-kun wasn't angry either. His eyes were just glued to Lin Kai-wei. Chen Jun, why don't you call your parents now? I can't really talk to a kid like you. Can't talk, your parents. This behavior of theirs is considered kidnapping my daughter. Do you guys know that? After saying that, he even smiled smugly. That shameless look, really, makes people want to punch him twice. I saw Lin Kai-wei step forward and knew what she was thinking. It's probably the same as me, but I still held her hand. Don't let me call my mom. We were at the community gate at this time. A thought flashed through my mind. The high school entrance exam is in a few days. Lin I-kun deliberately appeared at this time, whether it was me or my mother. They couldn't let Lin I-kun affect Lin Kai-wei's exam. The security guard over there came over. He recognized us. You two need help? Is he a stranger? After saying that, he looked at Lin I-kun warily. Unexpectedly, Lin I-kun laughed and said, How could we be strangers? He pointed at Lin Kai-wei. See, this is my daughter. See if we look alike. This kid's family kidnapped my daughter. Shut up. Lin Kai-wei's hand was held tightly by me. At this moment, she was staring wide-eyed at Lin I-kun. Her voice was very cold. That look in her eyes wished she could kill him on the spot. But Lin I-kun only glanced at her, not paying it any mind. I raised a daughter for nothing. Someone gives her a couple of meals, and she doesn't even want her own father. The security guard was stunned. This little girl didn't deny it. In the end, I held back. Lin Kai-wei, who was in an unstable mood, and called my mother. After answering the phone, my mother's voice was a little tense. I'm coming home right away. You stop. Lin Kai-wei, okay? After hanging up, I pulled Lin Kai-wei to the shade of a nearby tree and comfortingly patted her head. Don't be afraid. Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment. She really wanted to say she wasn't actually afraid of him. She just wanted to kill Lin I-kun. Moreover, she knew that this time Lin I-kun coming here definitely meant no good. She could even guess it was mostly to ask for money. To ask for money from Auntie and everyone. But Lin Kai-wei didn't want to give it. Lin I-kun followed us and also stood in the shade. The security guard was still worried, watching us from a distance. Lin I-kun was in a very good mood. Why not invite me into your house to sit for a while? We're also neighbors. Who knows, maybe you'll be your father-in-law in the future. After saying that, he even laughed. That malicious gaze swept over me and Lin Kai-wei. Speaking of which, this daughter of mine grew up to look like her slut of a mother. She's beautiful, all right. You have good taste. Shut up. I coldly interrupted him. How old is Lin Kai-wei? Is that how you act as a father? Although I already knew Lin I-kun was no good, I was still disgusted by his tone and his words. This is his daughter, but in his mouth, she was like a piece of merchandise that could be chosen at will. In comparison, Lin Kai-wei had no reaction to his words. She just asked, "What are you doing here?" Her tone seemed to have lost the sharpness from just now. Lin I-kun looked at her, a little surprised. "Didn't I already say? I came to visit my daughter. Now that you've seen her, get lost." Lin Kai-wei looked straight at the man in front of her. The disgust in her eyes was not hidden at all. Lin I-kun clicked his tongue. He just raised his hand, but when he met my gaze, he suddenly laughed. Then he lowered his hand. "You guys don't really think I just came to look, do you? How much money did Nkila take from that slut mother of yours? She should return it to me. You're my daughter. That money should be mine anyway." After saying that, he clicked his tongue. "You guys wouldn't understand. Teacher Ann is a reasonable person. I'll go talk to her." As expected, it was about money. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief, but Lin Kai-wei's heart sank continuously. I sighed in relief, because I had initially told my mother to talk to Kai Wenji, but actually, I had also talked to my parents. If Kai Wenji was no use, and Lin I-kun still came, we had to be prepared. And we really did prepare money. It would be best to get Lin I-kun to transfer Lin Kai-wei's household registration out. But this was actually a bit unrealistic. Where would it be transferred to? I've already looked up the procedure. It's really troublesome. Lin Kai-wei is 15 years old now. Mom said, once she turns 18, she'll be free. At most, we'll give Lin I-kun money. But I also know our family isn't rich. Lin I-kun is not someone who is easily satisfied. But no matter what, Lin Kai-wei should finish her high school exam first, then we'll see. As for afterwards, my eyes flashed. Although I live under the sun, I also know there are methods that are well hidden in the darkness. If Lin I-kun really refuses to let go, perhaps I'd be willing to do something. In my past life, I was a tattoo artist. The people I came into contact with were not few. There's always a way. The three people under the tree didn't say anything. Mom arrived in a hurry. Lin I-kun had already smoked several cigarettes. Seeing Nkila arrive, he even smiled and called out, "Teacher Ann, long time no see." Nkila's eyes scanned the two children from top to bottom. Seeing that, besides their poor complexions, there seemed to be nothing else wrong, she forced a smile and said to Lin I-kun, "Long time no see." Back when Mrs. Lin was still alive, the relationship between our two families was actually quite good. The superficial pleasantries were still fully present. It's just that at this moment, Lin I-kun looked at the residential area behind them. Not inviting me in for a sit-down? After all, you bought this house thanks to my Lin Kai-wei. Hearing this, I knew it came from that big-mouthed Mrs. Pai Meng. Lin Kai-wei's face was cold. What does this house have to do with me? Auntie and uncle bought this themselves. You think I don't know? That slut mother of yours gave you quite a bit of money, didn't she? Well, that's to be expected. She hooked up with a rich man. She's not short on money now. Lin I-kun sneered, looking at Lin Kai-wei. Do you know how much money she gave me? 150,000. How could she give you any less? Didn't she dote on you the most before? Lin Kai-wei's eyes and expression didn't change, but I had a bad feeling. She gave him 150,000 in just over a year, but the household registration and guardianship of Lin Kai-wei were still in Lin I-kun's hands. What is Kai Wenji doing? Now Lin I-kun's greed is probably not small. Nkila spoke up. Her tone was much calmer. In that case, you can just go directly to Kai Wenji. Kai-wei is about to take her high school entrance exam. That slut suddenly became unreachable. I am in urgent need of money, so I came here. Lin I-kun laughed. I know the high school entrance exam is coming up, otherwise why would I come? Lin Kai-wei let go of my hand and walked up to Lin I-kun. There's no money. Didn't you come to ask for money? There is none. She gives you 150,000 a year. As for me, she sneered. All the years combined don't even add up to that much. Then letting me stay in that house is also fine. No wonder Lin I-kun is a scoundrel. He didn't get angry hearing Lin Kai-wei's words. On the contrary, he laughed and said, the creditors are coming to the house soon. I don't have money to pay, so I'm hiding out at your place. You must have a room, right? And Kila quickly pulled Lin Kai-wei behind her. Chenjun, take Kai-wei home first. Lin Ai-kun, you and I will go to the cafe over there to talk. Lin Ai-kun glanced at Lin Kai-wei, who wished she could kill him. As expected of my seed, this gaze, this ruthlessness is exactly the same. He laughed. The malice in his eyes was very clear, but he still gave Nkila face. All right. Since Teacher Ann has spoken, I have to give some face. Lin Kai-wei wanted to say something else, but was pulled away by me. Don't interfere. My voice was a little stern. I half-hugged, half-dragged Lin Kai-wei away. Lin Kai-wei's body was thin, and at this moment it was tense. I felt it was even trembling a little. Although she didn't show it completely, I knew she was scared. From the moment she saw Lin I-kun, her entire demeanor had changed. After entering the residential area, I stopped. It's summer now. It's really hot, but Lin Kai-wei felt cold all over, as if soaked in ice water. The scars on her body at this moment seemed to all start throbbing with pain. The decay in her bones seemed to have never healed. I lowered my head to look at her. Lin Kai-wei. I looked at her. I repeated it twice. Only then did Lin Kai-wei slowly raise her head and look at me. Her beautiful deer-like eyes were innocent and dark, like a pool of stagnant water. This gaze, when I found her. Do you remember what I told you? No matter what, you have to think of yourself. Protect yourself, remember? Lin Kai-wei didn't say anything. She just pursed her lips and looked at me. I sighed and continued. If you really can't, think of me, think of my parents, and the friends around you. I know you want to kill Lin Ai-kun, but he's not worth you, ruining the rest of your life for him. My voice was very soft, but my tone was firm and serious. You are someone I had a hard time finding and raising. You have to live well, you know? Don't be affected by him. I rarely held Lin Kai-wei gently in my arms, with a sense of comfort. I have to admit, I actually know Lin Kai-wei has an unusual possessiveness towards me. I also know how to comfort her. Lin Kai-wei is actually just a simple child, at least in my eyes, too easy to understand. After the exam, we can go hang out with Kwang Mo-ge and the others. Don't think about anything. Let's do well on the exam. My parents are here. They will solve it, okay? Lin Kai-wei's body in my arms was still very stiff, but her hands had wrapped around me. The boy smelled of mint milk candy. It was the flavor she had stuffed into his mouth earlier. It comforted her very well. I have to think more about Chen Jun. Think about Chen Jun. I felt the tense body of Lin Kai-wei gradually relax. Finally, a very soft yes came from my embrace, my own tense body. Also felt a sense of relaxation. I was really scared that Lin Kai-wei would take a knife and go chop up Lin Ai-kun tonight. The two went home and started doing homework. It seemed like they were both studying seriously, but at least I couldn't focus at all. Why isn't Mom back yet? I glanced at the person next to me who was doing homework with her head down. What just happened didn't seem to affect her. Her problem-solving speed hadn't slowed down at all, while I was lost in thought. There was a sound outside the door. I noticed that Lin Kai-wei's pen stopped immediately. She wasn't as calm as she appeared, and Kila's voice rang out. Chen Jun, Lin Kai-wei, come out and have some dessert soup. The two looked at each other and put down their pens, and walked out one after the other. I looked at Dad. Aren't you on duty today, Dad? Lin Kai-wei softly called out, Uncle, then quickly apologized to my mom and dad. I sighed beside her. Mom came over and took Lin Kai-wei's hand. What are you saying? What are you apologizing for? The matter is settled. Do well on your exam the day after tomorrow. Make your auntie and Uncle Chen proud. We can't count on Chen Jun anymore. Family doesn't say things like sorry or thank you. Dad also smiled and said, That's right. Have some dessert soup first. I'll cook for you guys later. It's been a long time since I've shown you my skills. The couple's tone was very relaxed. I knew for sure that it had been temporarily resolved, but how, I really wanted to ask. But at this moment, under my parents' signal, I suppressed my curiosity. I laughed and said to my dad, Oh, come on, you only know how to make 2 dishes. One is stir-fried tomatoes and eggs, and the other is hot and sour shredded potatoes. Don't look down on these 2 dishes. Back then, I used them to win over your mother. Lin Kai-wei was half-hugged by my mother. She lowered her eyes, her rims red, her nose tingling. My family are all very, very good people. She always felt her life was terrible. Yet she met their family. Of course, she knew they were trying not to affect her, which is why they tried to act relaxed. Lin Kai-wei could only pretend to be relieved. They don't want me to ask, so she will be a good child as they wish. After the high school entrance exam, Lin Ai-kun, thinking of the man she had to call father. A murderous glint flashed in Lin Kai-wei's eyes. This blood-sucking parasite. She would not let him get his hands on anyone from the Chen family. After dinner, while Lin Kai-wei was taking a shower, I sneaked into my parents' room. As a result, Teacher Anne was blunt. Just focus on your exam. A child asking about this? Go back, especially in front of my parents. Dad looked at his son with a dissatisfied expression. He patted my shoulder. It's okay. Your mom and I can handle it. You two just focus on your exams first. That person, Lin Ai-kun, he's just after money. As expected, it was solved with money. I sighed and didn't ask any more questions. I just said, after the exam, we can't keep giving in to him. There's no escape. Even if he goes to jail once, he can go again. A second time. There are still 3 years left. Lin Kai-wei will be an adult. Mom frowned and interrupted me. Chen Jun, her voice was a bit stern. I was stunned for a moment, then looked up at my parents. I met 2 disapproving gazes. Chen Jun, this is not something you should worry about. Mom and Dad are still here. Go back and study well. Mom's scrutinizing gaze rested on my face. In the end, she didn't say anything. Go back. I knew I had said too much. These were not the words a 15-year-old child could say. It's true that excessive worry leads to chaos. After I left my parents' room, I looked up and saw her standing at my bedroom door. Poor Lin Kai-wei. She didn't need to say anything. I walked over, opened the door directly. Come in. The corner of Lin Kai-wei's mouth turned up slightly. Her once gloomy eyes finally lit up. At night when it was time for bed, I spread out a blanket and lay down on the floor. Lin Kai-wei, lying on the bed, looked at me and tried to persuade me. Come up here and sleep. We can each take half the bed. Thanks, but no thanks. This was originally my bed. I looked at her, feeling a bit helpless. Then, I pulled out 2 pre-tied neckties from under the pillow. This is for wearing with the uniform. You have one too. Tie it on. It'll make you feel a little more secure. I stared at her and asked. In that moment, Lin Kai-wei felt her heart stop. She even suspected that the last time she tied my hands, I might have already known. I didn't think much of it. I pulled her hand over directly and slowly tied the necktie around her wrist. Then I offered my own hand. Tie it. It's awkward for me to do it. When I met Lin Kai-wei's gaze again, as she looked over, I smiled and said, It's okay. Tonight, all the heroes protecting you are on temporary leave. They'll watch over you. So don't be afraid, Lin Kai-wei. Big brother will watch over you. Lin Kai-wei held the extended necktie in her hand. She felt herself gripping it tightly. Looking at me sitting on the floor, smiling at her, she suddenly felt like crying a little. Actually, she had come to my door intentionally at first. She knew I would feel sorry for her. And sure enough, I let her in. But I slept on the floor. Originally, Lin Kai-wei was very unhappy about that. But now, after what I did, the only thing left in her heart was a soft feeling. She kind of wanted to cry. I couldn't stand this mushy scene. I tugged at the necktie in her hand. Are you going to tie it or not? Lin Kai-wei tightened her grip, not letting me pull it back. She still hadn't given up, saying, But if you come up here, we can sleep holding hands. Just like when we were little. She said this while looking at me expectantly. Hearing that, I was a bit speechless. I took the pillow next to me and hit her on the head with it mercilessly a few times. How old are you? How old am I? If it weren't for our circumstances back then, we wouldn't have been able to sleep together at all. Are you sleeping or not? If not, then forget it. Tonight, go sleep with your Calabash brothers. Lin Kai-wei quickly said, I won't mess around anymore. Don't kick me out. As she spoke, she skillfully tied the necktie around my wrist. I sighed inwardly. I never thought there would come a day when I would willingly offer my hand for Lin Kai-wei to tie. As expected, it wasn't beyond my predictions. That night, after Lin Kai-wei fell asleep, she had a nightmare. Although she tried to act very calm during the day, I always knew she was afraid of Lin Aikun. It's a kind of instinct. She had been beaten and cursed at since she was so little. How could she not be afraid? Right now, Lin Kai-wei's breathing was very heavy. Her eyes were still closed, but her hands instinctively wrapped around herself. Her whole body was curled up. That's the posture she takes when being beaten. A self-protective posture. My heart felt suffocated, as if someone had pushed it underwater. I got up and went to the bed. I reached out and held the tightly curled-up girl in my arms. It's okay now. Lin Kai-wei, it's just a dream. It's okay now. The person in my arms was stiff, shaking uncontrollably. I never knew my emotions could be so rich. For example, right now, heartache and rage were swirling in my heart at the same time. Now I'm thinking about how to deal with Lin Aikun. Lin Kai-wei knew she was dreaming, but her body's instincts, she couldn't seem to control them. A painful sob escaped her lips. Brother, it hurts. Those were the unspoken words of Lin Kai-wei from age 5 to 8. She was in so much pain, everywhere hurt. She really wanted to run away. But in the past, as soon as she ran to the door, she would be grabbed by the hair and dragged back by Lin Aikun. She saw the door opposite hers open. That happy, chubby boy glanced over. Actually, she didn't want to call him Fatty. She wanted to call him Big Brother. But he saw her being beaten and quickly closed the door again. Lin Kai-wei couldn't distinguish between dream and reality. Sometimes it was my back shielding her. Other times it was the moment he quickly closed the door. It just kept repeating. Lin Kai-wei cried out, Brother, save me. It hurts so much. She felt water dripping on her. Is it raining? Why is the water? Then she saw Lin Aikun again, holding freshly boiled water. He splashed it on her. It hurt so much. Suddenly, a chubby figure shielded her. I discovered that Lin Kai-wei had a fever. I was about to go call Dad, but Lin Kai-wei just held on to me tightly, crying out, Brother, it hurts so much. I could only reach for the phone beside me and call my parents. They arrived quickly. As soon as they entered, they saw their son, holding a trembling Lin Kai-wei. His eyes were red-rimmed. Mom, Dad, Lin Kai-wei has a fever. She's burning up. Dad took her temperature. He immediately said, You'll go get the car. We need to take her to the hospital for an IV drip. Mom noticed, their hands tied together, and she frowned slightly. But now was not the time to talk about this. She wanted to wake Lin Kai-wei up, but the girl seemed to have fallen into a coma. She couldn't be woken up at all. She just cried out, It hurts. Tears streamed down her face. Occasionally she would say, Don't hit me. This made Mom's eyes turn red instantly. She cursed Lin Aikun under her breath, and had to help me carry her down, mainly because Lin Kai-wei kept holding onto me tightly, refusing to let go. For the first time, I realized that I probably need to work out too. Right now, even carrying Lin Kai-wei downstairs was very tiring, but we finally got her into the car. Mom touched Lin Kai-wei's forehead, then she glanced at our wrists. Chenjun, untie that thing on your hands. After being reminded, I remembered our hands were still tied with the necktie. Maybe because I used too much strength carrying her just now. My hand was still shaking a little when I untied it. In the end, Mom helped untie it. Mom didn't say anything. She just put the necktie aside. At the hospital, we took her to the emergency room. Lin Kaiwei was quickly put on an IV drip. The girl on the hospital bed looked thin and pale. This made it impossible for me not to think of the blood-covered Lin Kaiwei from my past life, leaning against my corpse. I took a deep breath and rubbed my face. Mom said, "Lao Chen, you and Chen Jun go home and rest first. I can stay and watch her." "No need, Mom. They'll wait too. When Lin Kaiwei wakes up, she'll be scared." Even in her dreams, she only whispered, "Brother, save me." What if she wakes up and doesn't see me? Dad noticed his wife's expression wasn't good, thinking about how he and his wife had no idea that the two kids were sleeping together tonight. He pulled me back. "Chen Jun, listen to your mother." I wanted to say something else, but I also noticed Mom's expression wasn't good. Finally, I glanced at Lin Kaiwei still lying on the hospital bed. I sighed, "Then I'll come tomorrow." I followed Dad to the underground parking lot. Sure enough, after a while, Dad spoke. "Chen Jun, did Kaiwei sleep in your room today?" I grunted. She slept on the bed. I slept on the floor. I only got on the bed when I realized something was wrong with her. Dad still believed his son on this matter. He just had to take a look when we got back to know. "But son, you are both teenagers now. Boys and girls are different. Even if you were real siblings, it wouldn't be appropriate to sleep in the same room, let alone the fact that you aren't real siblings." I sighed. "We're not usually like this. It's just that Lin Aikun suddenly appeared today. Lin Kaiwei must have been too scared. It's just for tonight. As for the matter of Lin Kaiwei sneaking into my room, it's better not to mention it." Thinking of Teacher Anne's expression earlier, if she knew, she would probably explode. Dad nodded. He realized I didn't really want to talk about this. He didn't ask any more questions. He just added one last sentence. "Chen Jun, you're a teenager now. Actually, today, if Lin Kaiwei was scared, you should have told your mother. Let her stay with the girl. You're grown up now, you need to know about boundaries." I let out a soft humph. I just suddenly felt that growing up wasn't good at all. After returning home, Dad still passed by my room once. I didn't stop him either. I let him see the blanket on the floor. I probably won't be able to sleep tonight. Early the next morning, I went with my dad to the hospital on his way to work. I even got out of the car to buy breakfast for Mom and Lin Kaiwei. When we arrived at the hospital, Lin Kaiwei's fever had broken and she was awake. When she saw me, her eyes lit up a little. Mom had stayed up all night and looked a bit tired. Dad must have talked to Mom last night. This morning after I arrived, Mom's attitude was back to normal. She just said she had to go home and rest first. She gave a few instructions, then took her breakfast and left. Dad went to work too. Hell help Lin Kaiwei with the discharge papers at noon. Right now, Lin Kaiwei was bowing her head alone, obediently eating breakfast. The noise around her seemed to have nothing to do with her. The girl, who was usually expressionless, suddenly looked up. Her doe-like eyes were filled with tears, as if she felt wronged. "Chen Jun, do you regret picking me up? Am I too much trouble?" Her voice was hoarse from the cold and fever. It had lost its usual sweetness. It made me frown. "How long has it been since you drank water?" Lin Kaiwei was stunned for a moment. Clearly, she hadn't processed it yet. Why didn't he answer my question? But her mouth habitually said, "I drank some. It's just that my throat is still a little uncomfortable. You still have to take medicine later. You'll get better after taking it. Hurry up and eat your porridge." I reached out and gently stroked her slightly messy hair. When she looked over, I smiled and said, "No regrets. I don't regret picking you up. My parents don't either. It's just that they still can't help but feel heartbroken for your past." How did she survive? Just after meeting Lin Aikun once, she was scared enough to get a high fever. How great must the fear in her heart be? I took a small, keychain-sized gourd from my pocket. Then I pulled Lin Kaiwei's hand over and placed the gourd in her palm. I said seriously, yet smiling, "It's the same model as the Calabash brothers. You say candied hawthorn. From now on, it'll hide in here. You just have to call out once, and it'll come out to protect you." Lin Kaiwei looked. I clenched the small gourd in my hand. It seemed to still hold my warmth. The boy carried her familiar scent, completely different from the cold, sterile smell of the hospital. She finally smiled. It's okay. She wasn't afraid. She had me. Lin Kaiwei thought she had to live well. For me, and also for Aunt Anne and Uncle Chen. Lin Aikun, this scumbag now, wasn't worth her sacrificing herself to drag herself down to hell with him. Because he was a terrible person, but she wasn't anymore. She was the little trouble I picked up and brought home. Chen Jun's little trouble. At noon, Dad got off work and came to pack us both up and take us away. After Lin Kaiwei's fever went down, there was nothing to worry about. When we left, we brought several packets of Chinese medicine and a bag of Western medicine. The Western medicine was to reduce fever, the Chinese medicine to regulate her body. This year, Lin Kaiwei was almost 15, but her menstrual cycle was irregular. Sometimes she only got it once or twice a year. This was obviously not normal. Mom had taken her to the doctor before. The doctor said her body was too damaged when she was young. I was looking at that medical record. "Lin Kaiwei, your health is still not good. You've been drinking Chinese medicine for so long. It's still the same." Lin Kaiwei looked at me and whispered, "Sorry." "Sorry?" I rolled my eyes. "Why do you like to apologize so much? You apologize for the smallest things." I felt a little helpless. If you keep wanting to admit defeat like this. Suddenly my words stopped short. If she had been more submissive in the beginning, she probably wouldn't have been beaten like that by Lin Aikun. I immediately changed the subject. "Will you be able to take the exam tomorrow like this?" Lin Kaiwei nodded. "I can," Dad reminded us. Didn't you two say you were going to hang out after the exam? You should postpone it a bit, Kaiwei. You need to build up your health. Lin Kaiwei quickly said, no need, I'm fine. My dad is a doctor. Listen to him. Lin Kaiwei glanced at my dad and didn't protest anymore. I watched from the side, finding it amusing. Dad still had to be the one to handle it. The three of them returned home. Mom had already finished cooking. Seeing us return, she came over. Mom walked over, pulled Lin Kaiwei and looked at her. Her face was still a bit pale. She said with some worry, are you okay? Rest well after eating. Just do your best on the exam tomorrow. Got it? Health is the most important thing. I couldn't help but say from the side, why don't you say that to me? What do you say to me? Chenjun, if you don't do well on the high school entrance exam, see if I don't skin you alive. My impersonation was spot on. I made both Lin Kaiwei and Mom laugh. Dad pulled his darling back and said with a laugh, what are you rambling about? If Mom hits you, Dad won't help, okay? I'm not convinced. Dad, you've never helped before anyway. He did help. Uncle handed Auntie the stick. Lin Kaiwei mumbled in a low voice. Hey Kaiwei, you're saying this about Chenjun? Tell me yourself. Don't you deserve a spanking? It was lively, full of laughter and chatter. The atmosphere at home was very good. Lin Aikun didn't show up again. The incident of Lin Kaiwei's fever had completely passed. That night, I saw Mom go into Lin Kaiwei's room. She probably went to sleep with her. I sighed. I felt that tonight Lin Kaiwei probably wouldn't sleep well. Sure enough, the next day I saw that her condition was very normal. The two of us had very good luck. Our high school entrance exam location was the same. The exam lasted for 2 days. After the exam, watching the teacher collect the test papers, I turned my head and met the gaze of Lin Kaiwei looking at me. The light refracting through the glass window shone on the girl's small, delicate face, making the smile on her face a bit more relaxed and sweet. I couldn't help but smile too. Lin Kaiwei, the exam is over. I'm going to the bathroom for a bit. Help me pack up my things, okay? I'll take you out to eat later. Lin Kaiwei blinked and nodded obediently. There were people from other classes in the room. They didn't understand how the two of them usually were together. In a corner, the voices of two girls were not quiet. This Chen Jun, why do I get the feeling he treats Lin Kaiwei like a servant? Yeah, right? She's willing to do it. What can you do about it? I used to think he was quite handsome. Now I'm a bit turned off. Lin Kaiwei stood beside my desk, cleaning up. Hearing that compliment about me, her icy gaze shot towards the two girls who were talking. I am very good. But she didn't want others to discover just how good I was. It was enough for her alone to know. The two girls met her emotionless gaze. Their voices gradually grew quieter. In the end, they only dared to mumble one thing. What are you looking at? Lin Kaiwei retracted her gaze and found another pair of hands in front of her, and a pink envelope. Hello, Lin Kaiwei. On the other side, after I came back from the bathroom, I ran into Kwang Mo Ge. This kid was dying to get a free meal. I was about to be speechless. Leading this little tale, I had just reached the exam room door when I saw a blushing boy handing a love letter to the girl in front of him. The girl's expression looked a bit cold. She had no intention of reaching out to take the letter. The people still packing up in the classroom were all watching this scene. The boy's voice was a bit shy, but very clear. Lin Kaiwei, I really like you. Can we be friends? Kwang Mo Jae said, holy crap, this brother is really brave. Confessing right after graduation? Awesome. I also said, holy crap, no way, this kid wants to steal my cabbage. But I quickly discovered that what I had raised was probably not some tender cabbage, but the ice archer, Lin Kaiwei. Looking at the boy in front of her, she remembered that she had once participated in the math Olympiad with him. Sorry, I don't like you. Her voice was very cold, without any fluctuation. She even added a sentence. I don't like people with worse grades than me. Zhang Daxian, who was always hovering between 2nd and 5th place, the shy expression on his face froze. He asked, somewhat unwilling to give up. So what if in high school I someday get a test score higher than yours? By then, I'll probably have found a new reason to reject you, Lin Kaiwei said without even thinking. Why is she so discouraging? Zhang Daxian's expression was blank. Lin Kaiwei felt that he was in her way. Holding my pen, she gently pushed his hand away. I'm sorry, you're a good person. That sounds a bit gentler, doesn't it? She doesn't want me to see her bad side. Can't we just start as friends? Maybe one day you'll discover that we're very compatible. Boys at this age seem to have limitless courage. That's right, even after being rejected, face flushed red, they can't help but hold on to hope. But Lin Kaiwei directly shook her head and refused. I don't befriend boys. Who have feelings for me? Then what about Chen Jun? Zhang Daxian asked, unwilling to give up. Hey, what does this have to do with me? As expected, after hearing my name, Lin Kaiwei looked up at Zhang Daxian. A slightly confused expression appeared on her face. What does it have to do with Chen Jun? Didn't you say you don't befriend boys who like you? Then what about Chen Jun? I know you two aren't blood-related siblings, and your relationship is very good. A flash of confusion passed through Lin Kaiwei's eyes. Immediately after, her eyes lit up. So are you saying Chen Jun likes me? Everyone around was full of question marks. Is that the main point? Kwang Mo Jae looked at me. That's right. How come they didn't think of this? Maybe I really couldn't watch anymore. I originally thought I wouldn't make this guy feel awkward. Now it's me who's a bit awkward. I walked straight over. Are you done packing? Let's go. Seeing that the main character of the discussion had arrived, Zhang Daxian was thin-skinned, after all. He panicked a little and took back the unclaimed envelope. He said, sorry to bother you. Then he was about to turn and leave. But Lin Kai-wei suddenly answered his previous question. Chen-jun is not like that. I am not like that. To Lin Kai-wei, I am unlike anyone else in this world. Zhang Daxian was stunned for a moment. I understand. See you in high school. He didn't say much more. It was just a matter of liking a girl and getting rejected. Although it was a bit sad, it wasn't enough to make him do anything drastic. At this age, who hasn't been rejected? As for the people around at this moment, they looked at me with a completely different expression. Lin Kai-wei picked up her pencil case and smiled at me. Where are we going to eat? Then I saw Kwang Mo-ge and Shen Yu-chu walking over. That's right. Where are we going to eat? Lin Kai-wei performed the disappearing smile trick for them. I found it a little funny. I reached out and gently tugged the end of her hair. Let's go for barbecue. I feel like the exam drained all my energy. I really need to eat some meat. Lin Kai-wei was still a little unhappy. She must have thought it would be just the two of us eating. While we were eating, Kwang Mo-ge sneakily pulled out 2 bottles of beer. I was a bit speechless. What are you doing? The exam is over. Shouldn't we celebrate a little? How old are you to be drinking alcohol? The owner actually dared to sell it to you? Kwang Mo-ge sighed. A little bit won't hurt, right? Lin Kai-wei hates the smell of alcohol. Her childhood was spent in a room filled with that smell. Naturally, she didn't want Chen-jun, whom she liked the most, to be tainted by this smell. So when Kwang Mo-ge enthusiastically tried to pour me a drink, she instinctively put her hand over my cup. At the same time, I also reached out my hand. Our 2 hands, one above the other, covered the cup. In that moment, Zhang Daxian's question flashed in Lin Kai-wei's mind. Do I like her too? Her heart beat a little erratically. She looked at me from the side. As for me, I just glanced at her. When I touched Lin Kai-wei's hand, then I calmly pulled my hand back. Don't pour anymore, you guys. What the hell are you drinking alcohol for? It'll treat everyone to a can of want milk. That should be good enough. Kwang Mo-ge clicked his tongue. Brother Jun, don't tell me you've never had a drink before. There was even a hint of pride in his tone. As for Shen Yu-chu, she wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. Her big, lively eyes darted back and forth between Lin Kai-wei's face and mine. Finally, they rested on Lin Kai-wei's slightly flushed cheeks. Oh my god, it seemed like she had discovered something huge, so she tentatively spoke up. Kai-wei, can you go to the bathroom with me? Lin Kai-wei didn't need to go to the bathroom, so she stood by the sink waiting for Shen Yu-chu to come out. Shen Yu-chu was used to her silence. At this moment, she suddenly spoke. Kai-wei, what are your feelings for Chen-jun? Lin Kai-wei was stunned for a moment. Everyone is asking about me today. Why are you asking this? Do you want to confess to Chen-jun? Shen Yu-chu quickly waved her hands. Not me. I don't. Don't talk nonsense. Chen-jun is not my type. What I want to ask is, do you like Chen-jun? Like? Lin Kai-wei frowned. Zhang Daxian just now, and now Shen Yu-chu are both asking this question. She thought for a moment. It's not just that Chen-jun is different. She felt that a normal like could not define her feelings for me. It's probably the I'd even give you my life type of feeling. Shen Yu-chu was caught off guard by the serious tone. She couldn't react in time. On the way back, looking at her back, she wanted to say something but held back. Isn't this like? But I seemed to really see her as a younger sister after they finished eating. It was already dark, so everyone went their separate ways. At this time, Lin Kai-wei and I were walking side by side on the road. In my mind, I was thinking, after the exam results are out, how to tell my parents that I want to study art. At this moment, Lin Kai-wei suddenly spoke. About what happened with Zhang Daxian today. You saw it? I came back to my senses and looked at her. I saw. What about it? Don't tell me you have feelings for that kid. At this age, Lin Kai-wei's aesthetic taste during this period was like that. But come to think of it, I suddenly realized that me and Zhang Daxian seemed to be the same type. On the outside, we're the scholarly type, thinking about the love so intense that she was willing to die for love, Lin Kai-wei in the previous life. I got a little anxious. You're still young now. Don't be thinking about these things. You're about to start high school. What's this about romance? Lin Kai-wei saw my anxiety. She was a little happy. Then she quickly denied it. I don't like him. I breathed a sigh of relief. Then why did you bring him up? Lin Kai-wei stared at me and said seriously. I just realized today that in everyone's eyes the feelings between us seem unusual. She smiled very sweetly and actually said it again. I even told him. Chen-jun is different. To me, Chen-jun is unlike anyone else. The girl's eyes were sparkling with light, carrying a hint of obsession. I looked at her. My heart felt like it was beating a little abnormally. I feel like kids these days are strange. Why did Kwang Mo-ge and the others bring up this nonsense? And now Lin Kai-wei is bringing it up too. At this point, I clicked my tongue. I reached out and gently tugged the end of her hair. Let's go home. What are you thinking about? Do you still remember what you promised me? With that, I walked past Lin Kai-wei and went inside. Lin Kai-wei obediently followed behind me. I remember. I'll study hard. Chenjun, don't worry. What did you call me? Chenjun. Call me brother. My voice was a little fierce. Lin Kaiwei looked at the teenager's back, still secretly stepping on my shadow as she walked, and whispered, no. Before, I could call you brother, but not anymore. She had discovered that she liked me, so he's not a brother anymore. She thought maybe she should look it up online to see how to like someone, because she had never thought about liking a boy. After all, I had always told her that studying was the most important thing. Lin Kaiwei returned to her room. She took a notebook out of her drawer and turned to a new page. She wrote down, on the day the middle school exam ended, I discovered my little secret. I really like Chen Jun. It's not just like, it's wanting to possess him forever, so I have to work even harder to give Chen Jun the very best of everything. Lin Kaiwei hugged the notebook, her eyes curving into a smile. Her beautiful features instantly became radiant. The summer vacation after the middle school exam was very long, having just finished the exam. Auntie Anne rarely paid much attention to me, so I actually lived quite comfortably. It's just that I was still influenced by the words of Kwang Mo-gae and Lin Kaiwei. Recently, I started reading books on adolescent psychological counseling. Of course, it wasn't to counsel me, but for me to counsel Lin Kaiwei. Now I'm a little scared that Lin Kaiwei would develop different feelings for me. Don't ask why. I just still remember her madness from my past life. I sighed, lying on the sofa, watching Lin Kaiwei cutting watermelon in the kitchen. Did I push her too hard, not letting her interact with boys who wanted to date her? Was that a wrong decision? I stared at the ceiling with lifeless eyes, then suddenly, in my line of sight, appeared a pretty little face. Although it was very beautiful, I still expressionlessly covered that little face. What are you doing? If you keep smiling like that, you're going to start drooling. Lin Kaiwei leaned back from my push. I haven't even opened my mouth to eat the watermelon yet. I sat up. Smelling watermelon in the summer feels like all worries can fade a little. Lin Kaiwei pushed the cut watermelon in front of me, but didn't eat any herself. It's probably because of the traditional medicine. She got her period. Only then did I notice her face was a little pale. Plus, she wasn't touching the watermelon. I couldn't help but frown. Is it that time of the month? Lin Kaiwei nodded. I clicked my tongue. Then why didn't you say so and still cut watermelon for me? You idiot. With that, I mumbled curses as I walked into the kitchen. Lin Kaiwei smiled at my back, knowing I was going to make her brown sugar ginger tea. Actually, she could have made it herself. She did it on purpose. She liked seeing me busy because of her, even though I'm mumbling curses. I'm not that kind of person. He's the softest-hearted. Lin Kaiwei picked up the bowl of watermelon. She stood beside me, feeding me watermelon. I was just scolding her for not taking care of herself. While I was slicing ginger, Lin Kaiwei also said, use less ginger. She doesn't like the smell. What's the point if I use less? Put that bowl down. This watermelon is all from the fridge. If you do this again next time, I'll hit you. Lin Kaiwei smiled sweetly and said obediently, you'll be careful next time. Every time I see her like this, I feel like I'm punching cotton. At this point, I reached out to pinch her face, but I remembered my hand was covered in ginger juice. Lin Kaiwei hates this smell the most, so my raised hand was about to come down. But Lin Kaiwei proactively brought her face closer, gently placing it in my palm. The ginger juice she hated touched her soft little face. Yet she didn't seem to feel anything. She blinked at me. If you pinch me, I won't hide. Feeling the soft little face of the girl rubbing against my palm, my Adam's apple bobbed up and down. Then without hesitation, I reached out and pinched her soft cheek. Then I turned my head and said with a look of disgust, you're distracting me here. Get out. Lin Kaiwei said, oh. She obediently picked up the bowl and turned to leave. But after returning to the living room, she sat down on the sofa, facing the semi-open kitchen, where she could clearly see the person inside. She had read a lot of materials. With my personality, she probably couldn't rush things. She lingeringly touched the cheek that had just been pinched. Even that hateful smell of ginger seemed to have become less hateful, because it came from my hand. It's okay, she wasn't lacking in patience. Boiling a frog in warm water, she was still very confident. In the blink of an eye, the middle school exam results were out. Unsurprisingly, Lin Kaiwei firmly secured the top spot in the middle school exam. The school also offered quite a few scholarships. Her tuition was completely waived. This was obviously a good thing for Lin Kaiwei. Mom was very happy after all. I didn't do too badly on the exam this time. Although it was average compared to Lin Kaiwei, it was still considered an outstanding performance. Coincidentally, our grade started moving to the new campus. The new campus was very big. Mom smiled and served food for the two of us. You did so well on the exam. Is there any gift you want? Tell me. Mom first looked towards Lin Kaiwei. Lin Kaiwei smiled and said, Auntie, I don't want any gifts. I'm already very happy with this achievement. Every time Mom saw how well-behaved Lin Kaiwei was, she felt even more sorry for her. She also knew her personality, that she wouldn't speak up. I'll prepare one for you myself. Lin Kaiwei quickly said, there's no need. But Mom didn't care about that. Finally, her gaze fell on me, the one who hadn't said anything. What's wrong, young master? What do you want? Normally, by now, I would have already stated my request long ago. Dad also said happily, Chenjun, hurry up and say it. If your mom doesn't buy it for you, Dad can secretly buy it for you. At this moment, I was a little hesitant. Studying art. I don't want to give it up in this life. I sighed and looked at Mom. As long as the request isn't too unreasonable, will you agree to it? In theory, yes. What is it? Don't tell me you're going to say that you're not going to high school anymore. It's not that extreme. It's just that I want to pursue art, to study drawing. The moment I finished speaking, at the dinner table, everyone fell silent. Dad looked at me with some surprise. The smile on Mom's face vanished. She looked stern. Lin Kaiwei couldn't react in time. Chen Jun wants to study art, then he'll be in the art class later. He won't be in the same class as her anymore. Does she know how to draw? But she doesn't have that much money. Lin Kaiwei's expression turned ugly. She reached under the table to pull my shirt. I was a bit helpless. I knew it would turn out like this, but since I'd already said it, I didn't hesitate anymore, and repeated it again. Mom, Dad, I want to study art. As I expected. The initially happy atmosphere turned cold. Mom looked at me. Chen Jun, your grades aren't bad. You don't need to go the art route. That's right, Chen Jun, studying. Art isn't easy either. It's very tiring. Lin Kaiwei said nothing. Her eyes were a little dark. She was thinking about something. I knew they would say that. I already worked very hard in middle school. But Mom and Dad, you also saw that my grades are only average, and this is an achievement I got, thanks to Lin Kaiwei always pulling me along. Once I'm in high school, the academic workload will be even heavier. I can't keep relying on Lin Kaiwei forever. She might become the top scorer in the college entrance exam later. She can't waste any more time on me. I don't think it's a waste. I can do it. Lin Kaiwei finally spoke up. The hand pulling my wrist loosened. I really can do it. You're not wasting my time. The time spent on me for her would never be a waste. I still know how to handle Lin Kaiwei, but even so, the most I could. Get into is a decent university, while you will be going to a top-tier university. If I study art, as long as I maintain my current grades, I can also get into a top-tier university later. These words were for Lin Kaiwei and also for Mom and Dad. As expected, after hearing me say that, Mom's face showed hesitation. But in the end, I still couldn't convince Mom. They said they needed to think about it more, and Lin Kaiwei was clearly also thinking, very silent. After dinner, she stood in front of me and said pitifully, Chen Jun, can you not study art? If you study art, then we can't be in the same class anymore. The #1 high school had already informed her, the top scorer, and she had made a request that she wanted to be in the same class as me. But if I studied art, that wouldn't be possible. I sighed and said seriously. But Lin Kaiwei, there are some people who have already tried very hard to study, and this is as far as they can get. I am that kind of person. Besides, even if classes are split, that's in the 11th grade. Even if we're not in the same class, we can still go to school and come home together. We can still come home together. I reached out and patted her head. We can be together forever. When I said this, my voice was very soft. I carefully observed Lin Kaiwei's expression and didn't miss the darkness that flashed in her eyes. My heart sank, and I quickly added, but I'll always be your brother. As for the future, we'll talk about it later. About studying art, I've thought it through very carefully. You'll support me, right? I deliberately acted pitiful. If you object too, no one in the family will support me anymore. Lin Kaiwei looked at me. After a while, she spoke. Is studying art expensive? I thought for a moment, it's all right. Then I suddenly realized something. Don't you even think about it. Your grades are so good. You're top scorer material. Don't think about these things. Got it? Lin Kaiwei was seen through by me. She didn't say anything because I knew her thoughts. Actually, she had already looked it up. She couldn't afford the cost of studying art herself. She needed money and she couldn't ask her aunt for it. It's even more frustrating. I sighed. Lin Kaiwei, what's going on in that head of yours? Study hard. Don't think too much about other things. At least for now, we'll always be together. Lin Kaiwei was clearly not comforted by my words, but she didn't confront me directly either. It's just that for the next few days, her expression wasn't very good. She was a bit absent-minded in everything she did. The weather has been bad these past few days, raining constantly, so the plans to hang out with Kwang Mo Gi were continuously postponed. Lin Kaiwei's kickboxing class was twice a week. Basically, I was the one who took her. Normally, if there was nothing else to do, I would wait for her at the milk tea shop near the martial arts gym. At this moment, I put down the pen I was using for drawing practice and looked at the gym across the street. Then I saw that familiar figure, the figure that made my whole body uncomfortable. Lin Ai-kun, why is he here? I stood up abruptly. I thought I had seen it wrong because of the rain. Unexpectedly, Lin Ai-kun seemed to feel my gaze. He also looked over here. Immediately after, he walked over with an umbrella. This time, I didn't avoid him. I just watched as Lin Ai-kun crossed the street, walked to the door, pushed it open, and went inside. The little boy from the Chen family is waiting for Kaiwei after school, huh? Lin Ai-kun smiled as he looked at me and sat down right across from me. But no matter how you looked at it, that smile had malicious intent. He even called Kai Wei so intimately. I looked at him and nodded, not being overly polite. How did you find this place? Me? I followed you here. I've been following you two for 2 days. Lin I-kun sneered, revealing a set of yellow teeth. Saying these words, he looked very scary. A chill ran down my spine. Why are you following us? My mom already talked to you before. Yes, we talked. And I took the money. But I've spent it all. I heard my good daughter got the top score on her exam. The school must have given her a lot of prize money, right? She's my daughter. So giving me a little money to spend shouldn't be a problem. Lin I-kun said it like it was a matter of fact. I said in a low voice, my parents have already given you a lot of money, and so has Kai Wenji. Lin Kai Wei, that money is for her education. What's the big deal if she doesn't go to school? With a face like that, she can live very well even without an education. The shameless Lin I-kun grinned at me. How about this? You don't want me to go looking for Lin Kai Wei, right? So how about this? You give me 10,000 yuan, and I won't look for her again. He had a look on his face like he had already won. Don't say I'm bullying you kids. I know. Lin Kai Wei's prize money is much more than this. I could see that he was targeting me today. Moreover, I could guess that even if I gave him the money, I'm afraid this inhuman thing in front of me would still turn around and go find Lin Kai Wei. After all, Lin I-kun's words were like farts, completely useless. I tightened my grip on the pen in my hand. If both my parents and Kai Wenji can't deal with Lin I-kun, then let me. No one can destroy the Lin Kai Wei of this life. I let out a laugh. All right, but I don't have that much money right now. Can you wait a few days? I put on a troubled expression. But let's be clear, I give you the money, and you're not to go looking for Lin Kai Wei. Lin I-kun didn't seem to expect me to be so easy to fool. He was stunned for a moment, then thought about it. This kind of pampered rich boy living in an ivory tower, of course he'd be easy to fool. He put on a serious expression. Of course, Kai Wei is my daughter too. I want her to live well too. I promise you, once I take the money, I won't bother her anymore. My expression was grim as I nodded. Okay, leave your phone number. I'll contact you later. As I spoke, I pushed the paper on the table towards Lin I-kun. Lin I-kun wrote down a phone number and asked, You don't have a phone? I do, but it's broken. I'm about to buy a new one. I'll buy a new one and gather the money for you then. My voice sounded even more annoyed. All right, you should go now. Lin Kai Wei gets out of school soon. Seeing that he could get the money, Lin I-kun became very easy to talk to. But as he was leaving, he said one more thing as a warning. I'll wait for you for 5 days at most, got it? I thought 5 days would be enough. Then Lin I-kun took his umbrella and left. I took out my phone from my pocket, which was still recording. Originally, it was to record the sound of the rain. Sometimes, inspiration for drawing comes from many things. I didn't expect to record this case of blackmailing a minor. That's a crime, isn't it? But it's still not enough. I still have to figure out how to get him sent to prison, preferably so that he can never get out. It was raining heavily outside, so heavy that I was lost in thought. I don't know when, but Lin Kai Wei had arrived. Chenjun, are you spacing out? I suddenly came back to my senses, looked towards her. Is school over? I casually cleared the things on the table. Lin Kai Wei lowered her head and looked. Her pupils suddenly contracted. That familiar handwriting, and that phone number. Lin I-kun. I quickly cleared the things off the table. I thought because of the rain today, you guys would be dismissed later. Lin Kai Wei clenched her hands, trying to calm herself down. Then she helped me clean up and even tried to take the school bag from my hands. But I pushed a pre-ordered milk tea into her hands instead. You don't need to carry it. Let's go home. Lin Kai Wei explained, Our teacher's wife is about to have a baby, so we actually got out early today. I was competing with a classmate for a bit, so I came out a little late. I smiled and asked, So your teacher has some happy news, huh? Did you win against your classmate? Lin Kai Wei nodded. I won. Then why aren't you happy? I won't fight you for the chicken thigh tonight. I opened the umbrella, turned my head and gestured for her to get under it. Teacher and told us to buy a roasted chicken on our way back. Lin Kai Wei obediently walked over. She felt me instinctively, tilting the umbrella a little towards her. I've always been like this, tough on the outside but soft on the inside. In reality, I always protect her. The typhoon weather was a bit troublesome. I was already annoyed. Now shielding Lin Kai Wei as we walked towards the bus stop, I said, Come over here. My bag is about to get wet. Lin Kai Wei took the bag and held it against her chest. This way it won't get wet. I didn't stop her this time. I just switched the hand holding the umbrella and put my arm around her, pulling her a little closer to me. If you do that, you'll get all wet yourself. Lin Kai Wei, sheltered in my arms, found her initially chaotic thoughts, seemingly calming down instantly. Chen Jun, will you always protect me? Of course I will. Even if we're not in the same class in the future, we'll still live in the same house. Remember the little gourd I gave you? Just call my name and it'll come protect you. Lin Kai Wei smiled when she heard that. She wore that gourd on a red string around her neck. Now, she said seriously, Chen Jun is my superhero, so I can't let those filthy things touch you. When the two of them got home, their clothes were inevitably wet. Only after I finished changing my clothes did I remember that my bag was still with Lin Kai-wei. Coming out of my bedroom, I saw my bag had been placed on the living room sofa. Both of us got wet, but the bag wasn't wet at all. I didn't need to think to know, this was because Lin Kai-wei had carefully protected it. As a result, I took my bag into the bedroom. Just as I took out the manuscript from inside, I heard Mom call out, "Time to eat." I answered her, put down the things in my hand, and went out. Of course, I didn't notice that the piece of paper Lin Ai-kun had written on was gone. During dinner, Mom finally relented. "Chen-jun, your father and I have discussed it. We can respect your interests, but you have to go with me to meet a teacher. You need to be tested a little. After all, this path of studying art, if you don't have any talent, is not an easy path to walk." Although I knew this was bound to happen sooner or later, hearing my mom's words now, I was still very happy. "Okay, no problem. Mom, I promise I'll make you proud." "Oh, stop it. It's enough if you don't embarrass me." Lin Kai-wei watched my unconcealed joy and tightened her grip on her chopsticks. Before, she had always wanted to grow up quickly. Once grown up, she wouldn't be afraid of Lin Ai-kun anymore. But if the price of growing up was growing more and more distant from me, then she didn't want to grow up at all. Lin Kai-wei was in a bad mood. Of course, I could tell. That evening, I took the initiative to bring some sweet soup and knock on Lin Kai-wei's door. At that moment, Lin Kai-wei was reading, doing homework. Probably 10th grade assignments. "Have some sweet soup. You should also pay attention to resting while studying. Why are you like a robot? Aren't you tired?" Lin Kai-wei shook her head. "It's fine. This intensity is nothing. I've summarized some notes. Take them back with you later." I let out a sigh. "Actually, you don't need to specially prepare notes for me. My mom already said it tonight. The day after tomorrow, I'm going to that teacher's place for the test. Don't you believe your big brother can do well on the test?" Lin Kai-wei had always trusted me unconditionally, but now she pursed her lips and said nothing. In her heart, she even hoped I wouldn't pass the test. That kind of thought was too selfish, but that way, I could stay by her side forever. In the end, Lin Kai-wei still said in a small voice, "You'll definitely pass. I trust you." I looked at her stiff and dry expression and found it adorable. I took the pen from her hand. "Go wash your hands and come here. Have some sweet soup with me," Lin Kai-wei said. "Oh," and got up to wash her hands. I casually tidied up her desk for her. When Lin Kai-wei came out, she found her desk had been cleaned up. Her heart sank. Immediately after, she remembered that the piece of paper had been tucked into her math book. "What are you standing there for? Come here. It's going to get cold soon." Why does Lin Kai-wei seem a bit dazed? Does me studying art affect her that much? "Hey, Lin Kai-wei, you're not someone who can hide things. Are you hiding something in your heart?" When Lin Kai-wei heard that, she almost spat out the sweet soup in her mouth. She choked on the liquid. Her first reaction was that I knew. I hurriedly patted her back. "Hey, what's wrong with you?" With that reaction, I thought you had a guilty conscience. The girl's big, teary eyes looked at me. Her face flushed red. "I have nothing to hide from you. It's best if you tell me if something's wrong. A kid like you can't figure it out on your own. You say that as if you aren't a kid yourself," Lin Kai-wei retorted, unconvinced. I chuckled. I thought to myself that I really wasn't a kid, but I intentionally said, "What kind of talk is that? I'm your older brother." I casually tapped her on the head. No sense of seniority at all. I'm going back to my room. As I turned around, Lin Kai-wei reached out and tugged on the hem of my shirt. I turned my head to look at her. "What is it? Can we sleep together tonight?" Lin Kai-wei asked me pitifully. I reached out and pinched her nose. "Nonsense. My parents would kill me. Sleep on your own. I'm leaving." Returning to my room, I organized today's drawing drafts. I quickly discovered that the draft with Lin Ai-kun's number on it was gone. I even searched for it seriously several times. It was definitely gone. Could it be that I lost it when I was hastily cleaning up at the milk tea shop? I must have lost it. But it's okay. I've already memorized the phone number. The problem now is how to get Lin Ai-kun to stay in prison for a few more years. Last time it was manslaughter. I think it was because he was drunk. This time I can't let him kill another person, can I? A little frustrated, I drew a severed hand on a piece of scratch paper. Gambling seems to have become the easiest way to do it. Just as I was thinking of a way to frame Lin Ai-kun, Lin Kai-wei, in the next room, had already sent a message to Lin Ai-kun. "You went looking for Chen-jun? Do you want money or something else? Come find me. Don't look for him." Lin Kai-wei's expression was cold. What she wanted to do was eliminate the threat for good. She reached out and touched the small gourd on her chest. Her hero had protected her for so long. This time, it was her turn. And recently, I've also been saving up money. Actually, my allowance has always been quite generous. I've also sold a few paintings online. I've more or less earned about 10,000. I will definitely transfer this money to Lin Ai-kun. After all, this crime of blackmail cannot be overlooked. I looked at the 15,000 in my account. Sigh, I was originally planning to wait until her birthday to set off fireworks for Lin Kai-wei. If other girls have it, Lin Kai-wei must have it too. This money is gone in a flash. It hurts so much, but thinking about dealing with Lin Ai-kun makes it worth it. Money can be earned again. Everything was ready. I felt quite at ease. For the past 2 days, I've been seriously preparing for the test. Whenever I had time, I'd go out to practice drawing, so I didn't pay much attention to Lin Kai-wei, who for the past 2 days when she went to buy groceries, came back an hour later than usual. On the day of the test with Mom, I felt my heart beating very fast. My eyelid was twitching too. We had agreed that in the morning, Mom would take me there and then go back to her school. She had a meeting today. Before leaving, I turned my head to look at Lin Kai-wei. Aren't you coming with me? This was a bit strange. Usually Lin Kai-wei couldn't wait to stick to me. Plus, my eyelid kept twitching. I kept feeling that something was wrong. Lin Kai-wei shook her head. I'll wait for you to come back. Auntie gave me a set of questions, and I still have a few I haven't finished. Mom patted me. Are you a child? Do you need Kai-wei to go with you when you go out? I didn't move. I just looked at Lin Kai-wei. Lin Kai-wei's heart was pounding. She was afraid I would see something, but her facial expression didn't change at all. She still looked very obedient. Finally, I let out a breath. All right then. Then you wait at home for me to come back. I'll bring back milk from the shop downstairs for you. I heard it's really good, so wait for me to come back, okay? Mom gave a look. Hurry up, Chen-jun. Then she changed to a smiling expression and said to Lin Kai-wei, Kai-wei, I won't be eating at home for lunch today. You two can eat. Get Chen-jun to make it. I said sarcastically from the side. Don't worry, I won't let your daughter starve. The mother and son joked as they left the house. Lin Kai-wei also had a smile on her face. As I was leaving and closing the door, I turned my head and looked at her one last time. Lin Kai-wei, wait for me to bring back something to eat for you. Lin Kai-wei said okay, and the door closed. The teacher conducting the test this time was my mom's friend, Teacher Ki. I heard he's very strict and doesn't have a very good temper. But his skills are truly excellent. This time, it wasn't just me who came. There were also 2 girls and 2 boys. I heard that if we passed Teacher Ki's test, we could even get into his studio ahead of schedule. Originally, I planned to hold back, but now I became much more serious. So it also took quite a lot of time. It was inevitable that we'd be scrutinized. In the end, out of 5 people, only 2 remained. The other 3 were scolded to the point of tears. But luckily, I passed the test. Although I was also scolded anyway, by the time I left the studio, it was past 12 o'clock. I took out my phone to check. There were no messages from Lin Kai-wei. This wasn't good. That feeling of unease rose up again. Then I called Lin Kai-wei, but I heard a notification that the other party's phone was off. This gave me a bad feeling. I immediately called a taxi to go home. I also made a call to Mom on the way. She picked up very quickly. What is it? Son, did you pass the test? Are you coming to find me to brag? Judging by her voice, she was probably in a good mood. Teacher Ki must have just sent her a message. But right now, I was in no mood to pay attention to these things. Mom, did Lin Kai-wei call you? My mom said, huh? She seemed a little surprised. No, what's wrong? Usually Kai-wei knows I'm busy. She wouldn't call me without a reason. The unease in my heart grew stronger. It's nothing. I just couldn't get through to her. Her phone probably ran out of battery. You're on your way home, right? You'll know once you get home and check. That child is always engrossed in her studies, Mom said with a laugh. She really didn't pay much attention. Every time Lin Kai-wei studied, she was very serious and easily ignored other things around her. I hung up the phone and touched my chest where my heart was. But Lin Kai-wei had never let me be unable to contact her. There was also the constantly twitching eyelid and the inner turmoil I felt before leaving the house today. After getting home, my steps were very rushed. I nearly ran up and pushed the door open. As expected, there was no one at home. Lin Kai-wei wasn't home. The moment this thought appeared, my heart began to clench inexplicably. Clench. I quickly went to Lin Kai-wei's room. I only saw a piece of paper on the desk. A piece of paper that I found familiar. It was the paper with Lin I-kun's phone number. It turned out it wasn't lost. Lin Kai-wei had picked it up, or rather, had taken it. This made me think of every time Lin Kai-wei saw Lin I-kun, that look of wanting to kill him. My heart tightened. I turned and ran out. With trembling hands, I dialed Lin I-kun's number, but no one answered either. I broke out in a sweat. I called Kwang Mo-ge. Kwang Mo-ge's house wasn't far from our old apartment complex. It was only a 5-minute walk. Kwang Mo-ge, help me go check our old house. Building 9, 3rd floor. Help me check if Lin Kai-wei is there. Kwang Mo-ge sounded a bit confused, huh? What for? Help me go check right now. Immediately, please. I'll be right there. Perhaps because my voice was too serious, Kwang Mo-ge on the other end didn't ask any more questions. He yelled twice. I'm on my way now. If Lin Kai-wei is hurt, help her. Her dad is out of prison. On Kwang Mo-ge's end, I heard the sound of something falling to the ground. He cursed quietly. I'm on my way now. Then, without even changing my shoes, I ran out in my slippers. I rode my bike straight there. Taking a shortcut from here to the old house, it only takes 10 minutes by bike. It's even faster than taking a car. I don't know if it was because I was cycling too fast or because of the unease in my heart, but my heart was beating faster and faster. The corners of my eyes were also a little red. In my mind, the image of Lin Kai-wei standing at the door this morning flashed by, smiling as she spoke to me, the scene of her waiting for me to return. I didn't dare to think what Lin Kai-wei would do, knowing that Lin I-kun had come to find me. The journey of less than 10 minutes felt so long. The phone in my pocket kept vibrating. After arriving at the old apartment complex, I threw my bike downstairs and ran up. As I went upstairs, I heard a commotion above. Are they fighting inside? It's Pei Meng's voice. Ah yeah, this kid is so grown up. She even hit her auntie. Does anyone have any tools? I want to break down this door. This is Kwang Moge's voice. Hey kid, a father is hitting his daughter. You shouldn't get involved. You can't break down the door. Pai Meng had a gossipy look on her face. What's your relationship with Lin Kai Wei anyway? I ran up with reddened eyes. Kwang Moge was anxiously calling me. When he saw me, his eyes lit up. Brother Jun, this damn door won't open. Pai Meng and a few other aunties were standing around watching the commotion. From Lin I-kun's room, occasionally. The sound of things crashing echoed out, along with Lin I-kun's cursing, bitch, and other vulgarities. I pushed Kwang Moge straight aside. Kwang Moge was wearing slippers, so it wasn't convenient for him to kick the door. But I was wearing sneakers. As long as it wasn't bolted from the inside, it was actually just an old wooden door with a key lock. I kicked it 3 times and the door was already shaking violently. Pai Meng and that group of aunties were still saying, Little Jun, if it breaks, Lin I-kun will extort you for it. This is their family's business. You dare to interfere? But isn't Lin Kai Wei still living at old Chen's house? But she's not their family member. I didn't have time to pay attention to them. In my eyes, there was only this damn door. Kwang Moge was afraid I'd hurt my foot kicking. Seeing the door shake, he pulled me back. Brother Jun let me. He was big and tall and had recently gained some weight. He charged straight at the door. The small, shaking wooden door was finally rammed open. I rushed straight inside and saw a cold face. A hand holding an ashtray covered in blood, but it was Lin Kai Wei's pale face. Lin I-kun was on the ground holding a bloody knife and was about to get up. The door was suddenly rammed open. This father and daughter pair looked over at the same time. When her eyes met mine, the cold expression on. Lin Kai Wei's face showed a flash of panic. The bloody ashtray in her hand seemed to become unsteady. Lin I-kun didn't care about that. He cursed, fuck, and got up with the knife. Today, I'll beat you to death. After saying that, he was about to rush towards Lin Kai Wei. My pupils suddenly contracted. I rushed forward and kicked Lin I-kun in the waist from behind. I used all my strength. I couldn't even stand steady myself. I staggered. The man who was about to stand up cursed and fell down again. Call the police, call an ambulance. Kwang Moge summoned all his courage and rushed forward, pinning Lin I-kun down firmly. At the same time, he yelled at Pai Meng and the onlookers at the door. His voice was trembling. I walked towards Lin Kai Wei, who was avoiding my gaze. Her whole body was trembling. I don't know if it was because of the pain or because of my sudden appearance. The knife wounds on her body were bleeding continuously. That blood dripped, drop by drop, onto my heart. It was so hot that even a man like me wanted to cry. Pai Meng and the others had only come to watch the commotion. Now, seeing all the blood, someone let out a small scream. Finally, someone took out their phone to call the police. After Lin I-kun came to, he started cursing again. An angry Kwang Moge pushed him down. Shut your mouth, Lin I-kun roared. You bastard! I didn't care. Ignoring these noisy sounds, I walked in front of Lin Kai Wei. I took the bloody ashtray from her hand, then lowered my eyes and comforted her. It's okay now. I wanted to be like when we were little, but there was too much blood on her. Moreover, I could see many knife wounds. The knife in Lin I-kun's hand had just cut her. The most obvious one was a cut on the side of her neck. Lin Kai Wei. My voice was both angry and a little shaky. But the trembling Lin Kai Wei suddenly spoke up, brother. She raised the hand that was clenched at her side and opened her palm. Inside was the jade gourd I gave her. The red string was broken. She smiled and said, It really works. I called for you and you came. You're even more amazing than the Gourd brothers. In that moment, I hated myself. I hated myself for not noticing when she had contacted Lin I-kun. I hated myself for being in a hurry this morning. When I sensed something was wrong, I didn't turn back, didn't ask more questions. I also hated myself for not giving the money to Lin I-kun soon. Hug me. It hurts a little. Her voice was soft and she reached her hand towards me, but was afraid the blood on her would stain me. But soon she couldn't think about that anymore. Because the pale-faced Lin Kai Wei collapsed, I reached out and caught her. The girl was very light. Her body was covered in the strong metallic smell of blood. She's not dead, is she? Someone's been beaten to death. There's so much blood. No way. Can you really beat your own child to death? Lin I-kun was still cursing filthily. Seeing Lin Kai Wei collapse, he even said, It's best if that bitch isn't dead yet. I'll kill you too. The ambulance and police car arrived at the same time. The scene was very chaotic. As I followed the paramedic stretcher out, I saw in the corner of the wall, a surveillance camera had been installed at some point, and it was pointed directly at the position where Lin I-kun and Lin Kai Wei were just now. A thought flashed through my mind. At the hospital, I was covered in blood. Lin Kai Wei was pushed into the examination room. Mom was on the phone saying, I don't care where you are. Kai Wei has been hospitalized after being beaten by Lin I-kun. As a mother, is giving money all you know how to do? You don't care about anything else, when her eyes met mine. Or I'll come find you at your husband's house. There was sternness and disappointment in her voice, which brought me back to my senses. When Kwang Moge saw my mom, he stood up reflexively. Auntie An. Anchila's expression was as grim as mine. He forced a smile. Moge, thank you. Mom looked into the examination room. This is where they do scans of internal organs. Kai Wei has broken ribs. The doctor also said they might have pierced her internal organs, so they're checking now. Her leg bone is also fractured. Her head also has an impact wound. There are many knife wounds on her body. My voice trembled. The moment I looked up at Mom, tears fell. Mom, she's in so much pain. And Kila's eyes immediately reddened as well. Kwang Mo Ye, who was next to us, cursed. He's truly not human. Thinking about how he used to bully Lin Kaiwei, he wanted to slap himself twice. Right now, he deeply regretted not training harder in martial arts. Otherwise, he could have at least landed a few punches on Lin Ai-kun. Just now, after the paramedics put Lin Kaiwei on the stretcher, I rushed over and punched Lin Ai-kun a few times. If it weren't for Kwang Mo-ge and the police holding me back with that posture, it was as if I wanted to take Lin Ai-kun's life. And Kila came over and stroked my head. It's okay. Kaiwei will be okay. But Mom's hand was also trembling slightly. Fortunately, there was some good news. The impact to Lin Kaiwei's head caused a mild concussion. She lost too much blood and needed a transfusion. But luckily, no major arteries or anything were hit. She had broken bones, but they didn't affect her internal organs. But these injuries were already considered very serious. The back of her neck needed several stitches. Lin Ai-kun wasn't much better off. He also had multiple fractures, but it wasn't as serious as Lin Kaiwei's injuries. Now, because Lin Kaiwei is a minor, the police have to take her to the station for questioning. They also found the camera in Lin Ai-kun's house. The course of events was quickly clarified. Plus, Pai Meng and the others told the truth when giving their statements. Lin Ai-kun beat his wife until she ran away, and had been beating Lin Kaiwei since she was a child. He probably won't have a chance to fight for custody anymore. Dad said all of this. Mom and Dad were both handling these matters, while I stayed in the hospital room waiting for Lin Kaiwei to wake up. After Kwang Mogi finished giving his statement, he went home first. Kai Wenji finally arrived. Her expression was terrible. She went in to look at Lin Kaiwei for a moment without even touching her, then called in Kila outside. I gently pulled the blanket over Lin Kaiwei. The little gourd was still placed by her pillow. Then I followed them out too. When I reached the stairwell, I heard Kai Wenji's voice. Sister An, please help me one more time. I can't do it. My husband doesn't know I have a child. In 2 or 3 years, she'll be an adult. Lin Ai-kun will definitely be in jail for 2 or 3 years. Are you crazy? Kaiwei almost died. You still want her to share a household registration with Lin Ai-kun? Besides, this time Lin Ai-kun's domestic abuse was severe. He definitely won't have custody of Kaiwei anymore. If it weren't for you, I would have already registered her under my household. And Kila's voice was a little agitated, and also a little incredulous. Kai Wenji, why on earth are you so unwilling to see Kaiwei? Kai Wenji was silent for a moment. Finally, she spoke in a trembling voice. Sister An, you are all good people. If you really can't do it, then send her to an orphanage. In 2 years, she'll be an adult. I'm telling you the truth. Lin Kaiwei is just like Lin Ai-kun. They're the same down to their bones. Kai Wenji's voice carried a sense of fear. At 5 years old, she dared to take a knife and slash her father. And Kila fell silent, and I, standing outside the door, also fell silent. The fists at my sides were clenched very tightly. Why did she slash Lin Ai-kun? Because that day Lin Ai-kun was hitting me. She was probably scared, so she went to get the knife, but she was only 5 years old. Kai Wenji's voice was full of devastation. I had always protected her. I protected her like the apple of my eye. But why is she exactly like Lin Ai-kun? Because she wanted to protect you, Auntie, I said coldly, stepping into the stairwell. I saw the ugly expression. Kai Wenji was terrified, and Kila's eyes were filled with disappointment and disbelief. This person, you abandoned her and ran away. That 5-year-old girl, bravely trying to protect her mother, she picked up a knife that, for her, was more likely to hurt herself, and what she got in return was abandonment. I thought of Lin Kaiwei lying in the hospital bed, then looked at Kai Wenji in front of me, who was clearly terrified of Lin Kaiwei. Why should Lin Kaiwei? Why should she have to endure all of this? Kai Wenji's emotions were also on the verge of collapse. Her face was covered in tears. I'm so scared, don't you all know? I was always being beaten, always being scolded. Why? I had never thought of running away before. Kai Wenji's original family wasn't good either. Her parents said she was a freeloader. This was already very bad. She wasn't a smart person either. The only thing she had over others was probably a beautiful face. But a girl like her, with only beauty and nothing else, had to endure too many hardships. That's why she was tricked by a few words from Lin Ai-kun that year. But at least after being tricked, she could convince herself that she had a home. Moreover, she also had a daughter. No matter how terrible Lin Ai-kun was, she never thought of leaving, and her daughter, as beautiful and lovely as a princess. But what could be done? I kept thinking about letting her grow up in a healthy family, with a father and a mother, not as a freeloader, having her own home. I never thought of leaving. Kai Wenji's voice was trembling, breaking down. But I always thought she was also, like me, needing protection. So no matter how much it hurt, I always told her it was okay. Mommy doesn't hurt. Mommy loves you. Daddy loves you too. See? Daddy never hits you. Mom and I couldn't help but frown. This way of thinking of Kai Wen-jis was already problematic to begin with. At first, she clearly could have left with Lin Kai-wei, but she endured everything for the sake of a so-called healthy family. The makeup on Kai Wen-jis' face was now smeared. She hugged her head, squatting down miserably. I told myself, I can endure anything. But why? Why isn't she like me? The way she looked holding a knife, slashing at that scumbag, as if she wished he would just die. That's her father. I wanted to say something, but Mom pulled my hand and shook her head at me. Kai Wen-ji probably had never talked about this with anyone. These emotions were a complete mess. The sequence of her words was also chaotic, but I still understood. It was that Kai Wen-ji, seeing that side of Lin Kai-wei, felt that in her bones. Lin Kai-wei was just like Lin I-kun and couldn't be changed. When she grows up, she will also become like Lin. She couldn't accept it, so she abandoned her child and ran away. My heart felt like it was covered by a wet cloth. Suffocating, I couldn't breathe. Kai Wen-ji was still crying. I ran away, but every year I gave money to Lin I-kun. Before, I worked part-time myself. I told Lin I-kun to let her go to school. I've tried my best. Sister Anne, I really have tried my best. It was so hard for me to meet my current husband. I thought I was finally about to live a good life. She came looking for me again. At that time, I felt like I could never escape her in this lifetime. I'm so scared. I've lived dozens of miserable years. I'm really so scared. Kai Wen-ji suddenly knelt down, intending to kowtow to my mother and me. Her voice was choked with sobs, unable to speak. I'm begging you, please don't be like this. I can't let my husband know about these things. Mom and I both reflexively moved to the side. Mom even hurriedly helped her up. What are you doing? We're discussing things. What are you doing this for? I took a deep breath, my voice very low. No matter what. Lin Kai-wei's guardianship will still belong to you, Auntie. You don't want to see her again in the future, right? Buy her a house. Separate her household registration. She's not an adult yet. You are still her legal guardian, but you can do these things without your husband knowing. It's just a little troublesome. Can't she just directly be registered under your household? Kai Wen-ji said blankly. She likes you all very much. I looked at her with a cold expression. As long as nothing happens to you, Auntie, then you are her guardian by rightful name. I don't know why, but right now I don't want Lin Kai-wei's household registration to be transferred to my family. Besides, Lin Kai-wei has suffered too much already. On what grounds can her parents just not care at all? If you don't want her, then I'll raise her. But I still want to try my best to get more for her. For example, this house. At least in the future, she will have a home of her own. I've always known. Although Lin Kai-wei has been living at our house these years, she has never considered my home as her own. The loneliness deep in the bones of her could not be hidden. Kai Wen-ji is very pitiful, but the human heart is biased. Thinking of little Kai-wei risking her life with a knife to protect her mother, while that mother regarded her as a viper. Such a small child who didn't meet me in her past life. How did she grow up? I absolutely don't dare to think about it. So I don't sympathize with Kai Wen-ji. I only feel sorry for that innocent little Lin Kai-wei. Mom glanced over. Finally, I looked towards Kai Wen-ji. Just do as Chen-jin says. That way, Kai-wei's household registration will be independent. We will take care of her from now on. If you two don't see each other, then just don't see each other anymore. You haven't seen each other much these past few years anyway. Wait for Kai-wei to wake up. Let her see you one last time. Mom's voice trembled. That child, at 5 years old, she just wanted to protect you. She didn't even know what she did wrong. After speaking, Mom wiped away a tear from the corner of her eye. Think it over carefully. If you still have any semblance of a mother, then let Lin I-kun stay in there a little longer. I've already proposed to my parents about Lin I-kun's matter. If Lin Kai-wei has already used her own wounded body as the trigger, then I will let this fire burn. It's best if Lin I-kun dies of old age in there. Kai Wen-ji's expression was very grim. A moment later, she spoke. I have my old medical reports. I know what to do, but I can't show my face. I have a husband now and a child. Lin Kai-wei is also your child. The bitterness in my heart began to spread from my chest, making me really want to cry. Kai Wen-ji left quickly. She said her son was waiting for her at home. I returned to the private hospital room and rushed straight into the bathroom to vomit. Mom followed me in and gently rubbed my back with her hand. It's okay now. From now on, Kai-wei has a mother. I held back until the rims of my eyes were red. The suffocating feeling in my heart still hadn't disappeared. My voice was choked. Mom, this part of me hurts so much. I pointed to my heart. I know, it hurts me too. My heart aches for that obedient, sensible, and brave little girl. Right now, she lies covered in wounds, on that pale white hospital bed. From now on, besides them, she has no other family. Lin Kai-wei was in a private room. Of course, Kai Wen-ji paid for it. After crying, I felt much better. My parents were actually very busy, finding a lawyer, going to the police station, plus, their own jobs were also demanding. Although Lin Kai-wei's injuries were numerous, none of them were fatal. I repeatedly assured them I could take care of her. So Mom went to contact the lawyer, and Dad went to the police station. I also sent Mom the recording of Lin I-kun extorting me. No wonder we're mother and son. The last time Mom met Lin I-kun, she also recorded it. That time, Lin I-kun demanded 30,000 yuan from Mom. Moreover, from the recording, you could also hear that he had always been demanding money from Kai Wen-ji. Kai Wenji had probably given Lin Ai-kun more than 200,000 yuan in total. Actually, I think Kai Wenji is a very contradictory person. She's afraid of Lin Kai-wei but still always gave money for her to go to school. Before she got married, she also gave money to Lin Ai-kun, begging him to let their daughter go to school. But she didn't want to see Lin Kai-wei. She was even scared just hearing her name. Just as Mom said, she's also a person with a bitter fate. Her past few decades have been too miserable. Perhaps she didn't want Kai-wei to be like her, but she was also afraid that Kai-wei would be another Lin Ai-kun. For someone like her, you can even bring yourself to hate her, but it's also very hard for me to sympathize with her, because I only feel pain for Lin Kai-wei. Right now, I was watching her IV drip. The back of her hand was red and swollen. The blood vessels were no longer clearly visible. It was just a patch of bruises. Her wrist was bandaged. This spot had been cut by the knife. Luckily, the tendon wasn't severed. Otherwise, her right hand wouldn't be able to hold a pen anymore. I gently held her slightly cold hand. When I looked up, I saw her long eyelashes flutter slightly. Then she opened her eyes in a bit of a daze. The little girl was like a lifeless doll, staring straight at the white fluorescent light on the hospital room ceiling. Many things flashed through the little girl's mind. Finally, she remembered that I had come. The name Chen Jun made the little girl's body convulse uncontrollably. Then she felt someone holding her hand. The hand holding hers was very warm. It carried the warmth of a young boy, transmitting it into her cold body. Don't move. I stood up and pressed the call button. We have to wait for the doctor and nurse to come check on you. Then I looked at Lin Kai-wei, my feelings very complicated, both heartbroken and angry. It was like when a child doesn't listen, gets into danger, and gets hurt. A parent's feelings must be something like this. Before she woke up, it was mostly heartbreak. Now that I see she's awake, the anger inside me is becoming unbearable. I took a deep breath. Still trying to suppress my anger, I asked, "Are you uncomfortable anywhere?" Just then the nurse came in, carrying a new IV bag. "Oh, you're awake. Are you feeling unwell anywhere?" Lin Kai-wei wanted to shake her head, but as soon as she moved, a pain shot through her head. I quickly put my hand out to gently hold her head. "Don't move around. Your whole body is covered in injuries." Lin Kai-wei opened her mouth and said, "Oh," and found that her voice was very hoarse, but she still endured the discomfort in her throat and opened her mouth. "I'm not feeling unwell anywhere." Standing beside her, I was speechless when I heard that, looking at the various injuries all over her body. "This is what you call not feeling unwell?" I glared at her. "Don't try to endure it. Tell the truth." The nurse also smiled. "This little sister is really good at enduring pain. Your big brother just cried several times, you know. Where do you feel unwell? But the painkiller was just administered not long ago. We can't give you any more right now." Hearing that I had cried several times, Lin Kai-wei's eyes secretly glanced at my face. Sure enough, she saw my red-rimmed eyes. "Miss Nurse, you don't have to tell her everything." This made me a little embarrassed. I touched my nose, avoiding her gaze. "Lin Kai-wei, is there anything we need to pay attention to?" The nurse patiently explained everything again. Finally, after hanging the IV bag, she left. I poured some water for Lin Kai-wei, then I got a straw so she could drink. Lin Kai-wei was about to say she could sit up by herself, but I cut her off coldly. "You have several broken bones. For now, just lie obediently in bed." Such a cold expression from me was something Lin Kai-wei had never seen before. Her hands moved a little nervously. She took a few sips of water and opened her mouth to speak. "Lin Aiken's house has security cameras. My computer should be able to access them. The police have already taken statements at the station and from the neighbors. Mom and Dad are also looking for a lawyer. Don't worry, your household registration." This time, it's been completely separated from him. I seemed to know what she was about to say. Before she could finish, I interrupted her in a cold voice. "Are you satisfied now?" Lin Kai-wei was a little anxious. She grabbed my wrist, trying to sit up. "Brother, I can explain. Shut up and lie still. Do you really not feel any pain?" Lin Kai-wei didn't dare to move anymore. She lay rigidly on the bed. She said in a small voice, "I actually feel fine. I've broken bones before when I was little. I just didn't want Lin Ai-kun to latch on to you, especially you." Lin Kai-wei's eyes looked at me with a pleading expression. "Brother, I know my limits. I wouldn't have killed him, and I wouldn't have let him kill me either. Don't abandon me." Her injured hand probably couldn't exert much force, but she still gripped my hand tightly, trembling. My expression was terrible. I knew I shouldn't be angry, at least not at this moment. I took a deep breath and leaned down to hug her. "Lin Kai-wei, I won't abandon you. I already promised you. But I'm really angry right now, so you should be a little more obedient. I have a very good temper. I don't usually get angry, but that also means, when I do get angry, I'm very hard to appease." That night, Mom didn't come. It was me who stayed to watch over her. But I didn't rest at all that night, because Lin Kai-wei had too many injuries on her body. By midnight, the pain became unbearable. Coincidentally, she was very good at enduring pain. I was the one who had to discover it myself, and called the nurse to give her a painkiller IV. She was so tough she didn't even make a sound, which made me even angrier. No, actually, I couldn't distinguish whether I was angry or heartbroken anymore. In short, I felt terrible inside. So the next day when Mom arrived, she found that the injured Lin Kai-wei was carefully trying to comfort me. Mom slapped me on the back. "Kai-wei is injured. And she still has to comfort you? Kaiwei, where are you feeling unwell? As she spoke, Mom's eyes reddened again. Mom had taken care of Lin Kaiwei for so many years. She watched her change bit by bit, seeing her lying in bed now, reminded Mom of the broken state she was in when we first brought her home. Mom comforted Lin Kaiwei about the camera footage. The police have already obtained it. Lin Aikun will definitely go to jail. Kaiwei, is the pain better? Lin Aikun is truly not human. At this moment, I spoke up. Mom, do you have the surveillance video? I want to see it. Yes, Auntie will send it to you. That thing like Lin Aikun. Lin Kaiwei's face turned even paler. Don't watch it. The girl's dissuading voice was soft and unsightly. She looked at me with a pleading expression. She could actually guess that. I would be even angrier after watching the video. I ignored her and directly told Mom to send it to me. Mom didn't think much of it either. Kaiwei, don't be afraid. It's good for this brat to see it. This brat is so unreasonable. You're in this state and you still have to comfort him. She sent the video and continued. You'll know how unreasonable you've been after watching it. Take good care of Kaiwei. Got it? I watched with my eyes turning red. The person in the video was very familiar to me. I could also see that from the beginning, it was Lin Kaiwei who deliberately used her words and actions to provoke Lin Aikun. When Lin Aikun attacked, Lin Kaiwei didn't fight back at first, but the taunts from her lips never stopped. The girl in the video carefully protected her head. While being punched, kicked, and cursed at by the drunken man, she didn't fight back at all, until Lin Aikun grabbed a knife and cursed at her, calling her a bitch. You dared to slash me with a knife when you were 5. Your father will chop you to death today. Then I'll go kill that brat from the Chen family too. You like him, don't you? That look in your eyes is exactly the same as the look that stupid mother of yours gave me. It was only then that Lin Kaiwei started to fight back against him. She could actually fight back against Lin Aikun. Having practiced Sanda for so many years, even if she couldn't win, she could have dodged. But she still let Lin Aikun slash her several times, before finally grabbing an ashtray to fight back. Right until before we broke down the door. Her ashtray was aimed at Lin Aikun's head. It wasn't until the door opened that she took a step back. I put away my phone. I glanced at the pale-faced girl on the bed. The corner of my mouth lifted, as if smiling, but my eyes were very cold. Mom, I'm going home to rest for a bit. Seeing my unwell expression, Mom also felt sorry for her son. Go home. I'm here. Lin Kaiwei called out softly. Brother? But I didn't turn back and just left. After leaving the hospital, I trembled uncontrollably. My phone rang for a long time, before I slowly answered it. Boss, the fish got away. It didn't show up today. The bait has been out for 3 days. It should have taken the bait today. The voice on the other end was very gangster-like. I came to my senses. It's fine now. It probably won't be needed anymore. The person on the other end was stunned for a moment. It's fine. Consider that money a meal for you and your brothers. Thanks for your hard work. My hand holding the phone was very tight. The other side heard there was no need to return the money, and was very cheerful. Then thanks, boss. If you have any more trouble next time, come find us. Until the call ended, I finally let out a sigh of relief. It was just 1 or 2 days short. Lin Kaiwei is too good at hiding things. It's also because I've been too busy lately and didn't notice her unusual behavior. I looked at the blue sky and white clouds. The weather today is beautiful, but my heart was gloomy, finding people, taking some time to persuade them. They took money to set up the scene for several days. It was clearly just 1 day short. Today was supposed to be the day I sent Lin Aikun to jail. I closed my eyes tightly. Both of my lives had been very smooth. The first time I'd done something like this, I lost because I didn't have Lin Kaiwei's vicious heart. But I only did it to prevent her from getting hurt. I just wanted her to be protected by me, but she always hurts herself. I can't describe the feelings in my heart, hating myself for being 1 step too late, hating her for not cherishing her own body. I finally understood. If you're not strong enough, you'll never be able to protect the person you want to protect. Before, I lived very freely. The people around me all had smooth lives. I only needed to live happily myself, but the me of now. I think I have someone I want to protect forever, only by becoming strong enough. It seems, can I protect her? Because Lin Kaiwei really can live without a care for her life, and the things she can do without is exactly what I'm desperately trying to protect. In the following days, until Lin Kaiwei was discharged from the hospital, I didn't scold her, but I also didn't talk to her much. I came to her hospital room every day to take care of her, making sure she ate, checking on things. Lin Kaiwei went from apologizing at first to staying silent later. Lin Aikun was arrested because the police also found things at his house. Now the case has become quite complicated. The day Lin Kaiwei was discharged and came home, the weather was beautiful and the school year was about to start. Kai Wenji came once, after speaking privately with Lin Kaiwei. In the hospital room that one time, she never came again. Lin Kaiwei only said that from now on, she would be on her own. Mom and the others didn't ask much. Today, when we picked Lin Kaiwei up to go home, both Mom and Dad made time. After we got home, my rarely superstitious mother found a fire basin and some pomelo leaf water. muttering that from now on, our Lin Kaiwei would be safe and sound. Lin Kaiwei's eyes were a little red. She carefully glanced to the side, and my face finally had a hint of a smile. Can you help me over there? I faced that careful and reserved expression. In the end, who was it that held out a hand, which was then tightly grasped by Lin Kaiwei? There was a new, distinct scar on her wrist. I glanced at it and then looked away, and took a deep breath. Finally, Mom called out to Lin Kaiwei, your body still hasn't fully recovered, you still have to greet. Chen Jun, take Kaiwei back to her room to rest. In a few days you'll have high school military training. Kaiwei won't be going. Lin Kaiwei frowned. I want to go. I want to attend military training with brother Chen Jun. I looked at her body, which had become a size thinner, and her pale face. What's the point of you going like this? Lin Kaiwei lowered her eyes and apologized softly. I won't cause any trouble. Lately, she has been very careful when talking to me. At this moment, I was a little annoyed. You don't want to cause trouble? Then just be obedient. Lin Kaiwei heard the impatience in my voice and didn't dare to say anything. Just then, Dad spoke up. Actually, if Kaiwei wants to experience the atmosphere, going to the military training is fine. She can go and watch. Just explain the situation to the teacher. You don't have to participate in the actual training, but you'll probably have to write some kind of reflection paper. It's also a lot of trouble. Lin Kaiwei quickly said, I can write it. I looked at her scarred wrist and thought, write what the hell? Before I could even open my mouth, Lin Kaiwei grabbed my wrist. I want to attend military training with you. If not, staying in the dorm, I won't see you for 7 days. Our military training requires us to stay at school for 7 days. I looked at her pitiful appearance and finally let out a sigh. Whatever. Go back to your room by yourself. You can even write a reflection paper after all. After saying that, I turned and went back to my room. Lin Kaiwei wanted to follow, but Dad was still watching. In the end, she had to say, Uncle, I'm going back to my room now. I still understand Lin Kaiwei very well, so I didn't sleep that night. I just waited in my room. Sure enough, after 12 o'clock, a skinny little mouse snuck in the door. Just as Lin Kaiwei carefully closed the door to the room, she saw the desk lamp in front of the study desk turn on. I, who was supposed to be asleep, was now sitting at the desk looking at her. Lin Kaiwei immediately froze.